And we are live on Rooted in Sports Tuesdays. What's going? I got my man Big Ron here. Swan is running late. He's on a business trip, but he should be on here fairly soon. But I had to get my man Big Ron, journalist from the DMV area, to come on here and
he did fill in. I'm just trying to fill in the Swan Don shoes. He does a great job. I'm just here to try to move the ship along.
Hey, don't let this man be modest, man. He's the next big thing. He's the next big thing in the sports world. He just got him a nice good job working at the high school level. So
finally.
A lot of good things working for him. So we got some fun stuff coming up today, Ron. So obviously college football is heating up. Teams are getting upset left and right. We'll talk about that first. Yep. I mean, the NFL, I think I can say this. The NFL is like a shit show right now. Like,
we do our picks every week, and I'm doing horrible. I don't even really feel bad about it.
I'm gonna tell you this: I do picks with a group of individuals every single week, right? $10, nothing crazy, but it's a lot of people, so you can make a little gas money, some grocery money.
Yeah.
Look, he came to me today with the schedule. I said, "No way, I'm taking a week off."
It's hard. Micro game, like end of the day, same with NBA. Maybe it's even harder because it's even more games. But anything micro in any sport is very tough to do. Like one matchup, which one gets hurt, like Tua goes out against the Jets, and Teddy goes out. Like who predicts that?
Who exactly? So I told people, I said you needed God on your side to win some of these. If you won picks, you got God on your side, right? So I told him, I said, you know what? I think I might take this week off. May take a few weeks off. Let somebody, because it takes till mid-season till you know who teams are. Right. And then maybe I'll start going with my picks because my how can I say this? My football manhood is hurt because I feel like I know what I was talking about. And right now I look crazy. But yeah, we'll go over definitely week 5. We'll give our week 6 predictions. And then we got to talk a little NBA because obviously the season is just getting closer and closer and closer. We'll be doing our top 8 teams in the Western Conference, who we think the top 8 teams are, and we will close out with that. But first, obviously, we got to get into our trusty intro, and then we'll jump into the action. And just like that, I love that intro, man. I'm telling you, I get hype every time that intro come on. Me and Swan, man,
it's a great intro. You put me on to I think the guy that did it, if I'm not mistaken, I think you put me on to him. He did some on our show too. Great, he's amazing.
Oh, really? So you really looked at him? Ben Bands?
For my own podcast, Franchise Mode, he did that logo.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
When
see, look,
first out the Fever app or whatever it was called, you sent me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You talking about the logo? Yeah. We putting people on out here, man. So look, yeah.
Hey,
we definitely plug for the culture, 100%. So obviously jumping into the action, I know you just had an article that was released. You talking some college football. You talked about Alabama. We'll obviously get to them because they're number 3 rankings. But going through the rankings that the AP top 5 was updated. I'm kind of sad because I just knew that my Trojans was gonna move up, but I guess that they don't got no love for the Pac-12.
Yeah, I'm surprised USC is like a little lower, but
well, look, yeah, it's gonna take for them. They're gonna make them beat UCLA or something like that for them to get into the top 5. But as it stands, we got Georgia at number 1. Obviously, they're still this dominant defense. Not as dominant as last year. Not as dominant.
Right, still the best in the country.
Yeah, still the best, right? Which it isn't saying much, right? Still the best in the country. Still limited offensively, but they're winning games. They had a close call against Mizzou a few weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, but they're marching on and they're back to number 1. You got Ohio State. That it kills me because I feel like every year Ohio State looks like the team to beat, but then they get there and they can't get it done.
It might be the defense again this year. The defense is not an elite unit again.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
He said, we'll see.
I love Marvin Harrison Jr. I was telling my guy, Alex Elijah, he does a lot of college scouting too. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, I love the Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's supposed to be wide receiver 1. This is the next big thing. He's 6'3", 5-star, all that. I said, but Marvin Harrison Jr.
is a stud.
Looks really good in that Rose Bowl game. So I'm like, I think he might. I don't know. Okay, I'm not gonna be hot take. I don't want to be that guy and say he's better than him yet. But he was on Bruce Feldman's freak list as in top 10, one of those freaky athletes in the draft, coming out. He's 6'4". He had 3 games this year with 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do with this kid.
And it's crazy because I feel like Ohio State might have 3 first-round talents in their wide receiver core, which is nuts.
Quarterback a little bit. I think he's really good though, but it's like it's with Tua. Like, okay,
yeah.
It's like Burrow and Tua. So I was scared about both of them. I was like, I love Burrow. He looked amazing. It's only 1 year, and it's like I didn't think Jefferson was going to be this good. But now looking back, okay, you had damn near wide receiver 1 and 2, maybe going for the next 10 years, playing with you. So it's like, and again, it hurts. He looks so good that the other receiver who supposed to be a top 5 pick is like, is he really a top 5 guy? Like he's still probably that good, but your number 2 is just Justin Jefferson level,
right? And it hurts. It hurts how can I say it affects the way that you analyze or how you view the quarterback. Obviously, because we just seen Tua go through some growing pains without those guys. So fair. That's a fair reason to be critical of CJ Stroud, who's played well so far.
Yeah, he's played great.
Played phenomenal. So then that's Ohio State. Alabama, I think for the first time in a while, probably since like 2014, 2015, they look mortal. Defensively, they aren't as good. Offensively, Bryce Young is a special talent, although he's undersized. But offensive line wise up front, they're not as dominant. They're not pass blocking as well. They're not run blocking as well.
The receivers are good, not great and Ruggs and like all these 1,005.
Yeah, it's just a different feel. And for the first time, I mean, I think me and you talked about this even on Road to Sports Community.
Yep.
If Quentin Ewers plays in that Texas game,
they win the game.
Texas beats them. Texas almost beat them with Hudson Card. Yeah. So
and Bryce, I just have to throw that out like Bryce is a quarterback prospect is a little scary because he's 195 pounds, and that just scares me as a scout.
You might be being optimistic with that. He might be wearing a chain or something around.
Yeah, usually if they're reporting 195, he's really probably 185.
Right,
and it's like that's a little scary. But in college,
you can get away with it.
It didn't get too much better than this. They said again. This isn't my take. So I don't want to say that. I think who said this? He's on Fox Sports. Regardless, he was like, look, they said Tua was Breeze. This might actually be Breeze level accurate thrower. They tried to give Tua that because he had the small thing, he had the receivers, and it's like the ball was always there.
But what you call actually
like the swag. Tua even then would get rattled in the pocket.
Right.
Bryce at 195, he just doesn't seem nervous to me. National championship game against the number 1 defense, maybe ever. He has no receivers. He's still out there running and making plays. They had a chance because he played, period. So with him, they have a chance to win the national championship. That's how good of a player I think he is. Like he's really amazing to me. He's still. I did an article on him today. He has the AC joint shoulder sprain. I think I'm like 80% sure he'll play this week, but he would have to shut up.
And I'm gonna let you definitely jump into that next. Yeah. I think he's gonna need to play this week.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to just suck it up. But I agree with everything you say about Bryce Young. I think the only thing that's holding him back, or why some people are doubting him, maybe going into next year's draft, is because of his size. But when I watch him and CJ Stroud, and I say people may shoot me for this. Hey, I may get attacked. I may have people with pitchforks and torches outside my house because I'm on the West Coast. But I genuinely feel like he's better than CJ Stroud, and CJ Stroud's playing amazing. I think he's
that's better. Why it's crazy because if one of them busts, I'm gonna. Okay, let me say this: if Bryce Young busts, it's not weight related, I'll be literally shocked.
Because he checks all the boxes.
At this point, it's like I just have to keep. I said something about. I'm gonna just have to change the way I evaluate quarterbacks because I don't know what he's done wrong. He takes hits in the pocket. doesn't look scared. His now has a year where he doesn't have all the top receivers. O-line is good, but not like elite. Again, he's fast. He's not like Justin Fields, or he's not gonna run 4.4. He's gonna be fast, but he's probably not Justin Fields or Hurt. Well, he's probably maybe around Hurts level in speed, maybe.
Right.
But so he's mobile, but he's not, the greatest mobile quarterback. But he makes all the throws at all three levels. His IQ is really, that's kind of like a subjective thing, but it just seems to me, I'm not there. I'm not coaching the guy. He looks very smart to me.
I think especially when you look at the Texas game, which was a tough game for them.
Oh, they were getting hit every play.
You saw him towards the end of that game really process the way that Texas was attacking him, and in that fourth quarter, they started attacking the middle of the field and hitting him up the seams. And it's just, to me, every quarterback can't turn that switch on and really shift everything towards the end of the game after being beat up the entire game. I think that showed a lot of what he's capable of.
My biggest fear is that he's a New York Giant, and I'm going to be pissed if he's a New York Giant.
Well,
Brian Dable gets to hold of this guy, and Evan Neal which I think he'll be better in year 2. I don't think Evan Neal is going to be a bust. I just don't. He was too talented in college. Not yet, at least. If he can get it together, you have Andrew Thomas, who's the number 1 ranked tackle right now by Pro Football Focus. You have Evan Neal, who I thought was my tackle 1 coming out. If those, you can have 2 tackles that are that good, and you can get the interior just to be average, and you have Dable calling the plays, it can be very scary for the NFC.
I don't. You know what? I don't think they'll lose enough. And you see, look, this is what me and Ron do. I love the draft too. I'm a draft geek, but I don't think they'll lose enough to get a Bryce Young. But he'll go somewhere. Maybe he'll go to Houston. Look, maybe he'll be in Houston with Lovie Smith.
Then I'll be a little nervous. But speaking of, before we move off Bama, they do play Tennessee, who's ranked 6. So they're not in our AP top 5, but they're ranked 6. The Hendon Hooker, quarterback of Tennessee, I think he's a first-round pick. He might have literally, this season has been so good. I think he's passed Anthony Richardson on that list of prospects. Now, Richardson has every trait. He's Cam Newton-esque, like body type. But the throwing has been so erratic that it might fall to the 2nd, 3rd round, which I think would be a steal for his traits. But Hooker might sneak into the 1st round, like Lamar Jackson vibe, like the 30th pick for a team like the Bucks or a team like that. It's like, damn.
Look, I feel like looking at college football this year, you're gonna come. Draft is gonna come. We're gonna get it here next April, and you're gonna have some teams that's gonna be like, it's gonna be so many damn quarterbacks. You're gonna have some teams you're like, you know what? I didn't even think about drafting a quarterback. Let's take them.
It's a lot of guys.
Right? It's a lot. I think it's gonna be. I think you're gonna see probably close to 10 guys get taken in the top.
They
top
have a
50.
shot.
Yeah, top 50. I can see 10 quarterbacks going in the top 50. So, but moving on to another team, we got Clemson at number 4. I'll be honest, I don't believe in this Clemson team. I'm not a big believer in DJ Uiagalelei. He's in
California, right?
He's from California with the St. John Bosco. Really top program. Really talented kid, but I still feel like he needs to play. Like, he's made improvements because last year was just abysmal.
Yeah.
I still feel like he needs, I think he needs to stay to not just this year, but another year to really hone his craft before making it to the pros. But that Clemson team as a whole, I mean, once again, we have them ranked at 4 because they're a strong program. They have a history of being there.
Dabo Swinney's a good coach.
And Dabo Swinney's a phenomenal coach.
Yeah.
But there's clearly leaks on both sides of the ball. Sometimes on offense, it seems like they're pulling stuff out their ass. And on defense, they definitely have some limitations there as well. And lastly, at 5, we got Michigan, who looks much improved, better passing game. We got Blake Corum, who's a Heisman candidate, who's an absolute stud. And defensively, they're playing some good ball as well. If you were to give a quick analysis of the top 5 and maybe just a quick look into some of the games that they're playing next, what are your thoughts?
Well, first, I think first Bryce Young again, he has to play. I don't think they're 7.5 point favorite right now. If Bryce Young is out, that line is dropping to at least 3. Like, Tennessee's a great program. They're still the 6th seed, so Bryce Young again has to play. Georgia Stetson Bennett has looked better. And he, for some reason, I mean, you don't want to do that guy like, oh, he looks fast and he looks because he's the white guy. I don't even want to pull that card. But when he ran that play last week, I was like, wait a minute. That was like a 60-yard run. Like I'm like, okay, so he has a little dual threat ability. He's passed the ball way better. He's going to get drafted probably within the first, we think 4-5 rounds, which last year I was like, I'm not too sure. So I think he's looked better. Again, Ohio State maybe has the best offense. Maybe USC has an argument for that too, but Ohio State has at least one of the best offenses. The defense scares me.
They definitely do.
Clemson, I think, is pretty fraudulent. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought it was just me.
Good team though. I'm not saying they're not a bad team. They're going to lose maybe 1 or 2 games this season max. But like, I would love to see USC play this team. This is the matchup I wish they could. Of course, different conferences, so it won't happen. But this
unless it's a bowl game.
Because think about this. Like if they're on a neutral field, what's the spread for this game for USC Clemson? Maybe Clemson -3. Like maybe.
I don't think. Like I said, I don't think Clemson is. I don't think Clemson can beat Georgia, Alabama. I don't think Clemson can beat Michigan.
And getting to Michigan, the defense looks amazing. They look fast. And if they have the quarterback who's been good so far and look like he's kind of getting better every week, if he can just if he can jump a level, they have a chance. They actually have a chance. I don't know if they're a national championship team, but if you never know. Again, someone goes down, you have a shot.
They're I think. Well, you know what? I'll say this: if ever they had a shot, this is the year.
This is the year.
This is the year.
Running back.
Because I don't think anyone looks overtly like. Even Georgia's the best team in college football right now. Like, let's not fight them on that. But their defense doesn't look like last year's defense, where they was holding teams to 0 and 5 points and 3 points and 6 points. Like it looks a little different. I mean, I think Kent State put 29 points on them. So that just shows you, like, okay, there's
beaten this year, which I love, by the way, because that's better for me to watch the game.
It's more parity.
Like there's upsets alerts every week for even the best teams. So I think that's what makes it fun. In Michigan, we talk high about Michigan. They play Penn State this week. Penn State is the 10th ranked team. This shouldn't be a cakewalk game at all. Like, Penn State is going to come out there. It is in Ann Arbor though, so I went there. It isn't like Penn State going to walk in there and they're walking in Pennsylvania. No, this is in Ann Arbor. But Penn State is going to probably come in there hungry.
Oh, they're going to come swinging.
Like, they will come swinging. But and shout out to Jim Harbaugh. He got a lot of hate the first couple of years, and I kept telling people, like, look, man, Michigan was terrible for you got here.
Thank you. I hate when, but you know what it is? It's because Michigan fans. It wasn't that he wasn't winning games; it's that he wasn't beating. He wasn't beating Michigan State. He wasn't beating Penn State. He wasn't beating Ohio
is really the Commanders. Like, I don't care if they win 12 games, they don't beat Dallas. It's a losing season for that team. Period.
They can lose every other game.
Like, literally. If Dallas is the game, these Eagles, they circle it. Like, some matchups mean more to fans, but it shouldn't matter to your GM. It matters to an extent, but a GM should know, or in college, the boosters and everything should know, if the team is getting better every year, we're getting top 15, top 10, top 5 classes, then this is what I pay you to do. Like, I don't pay you just to win one game. Now, you do have to win that game eventually, which he did. But it's about the process. So I'm glad he's done that.
Sorry, Toss. That's one of your boys?
Oh, yeah. I've been sending it out. You said you guys are going to He said we'll talk that the last hour, I think so.
Yeah, well, that'll be one of our last topics. So stay tuned, and we're gonna get through some football talk. So matchups for next week. Obviously, we got Georgia. Georgia's playing.
Yeah, let me see. I think it's Vanderbilt, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
so this is cakewalk game to me.
But Georgia playing Vandy. Ohio State is playing.
Yeah, let me see.
So it gets interesting.
Yeah, Ohio State, it's gonna be tough for them to lose a game with that type of offense. Now, they can be upset, so Ohio State plays Iowa next, who historically have been better than they have been this year. They're still a tough running team.
Well, you're not. Well, I tell you this: they're gonna give them everything they can handle.
Yeah, this is Iowa is a team that usually plays other teams tough. Now, the next week they play Penn State. But Penn State is coming off of probably going to be a tough game against Michigan, so it might be beaten up. So it might be tough for Ohio State to get that win, but they have to go to Pennsylvania. So
I think Iowa is. So that you said they play Iowa next. I think Iowa is like the Auburn of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
like they were placed like they were created just to uphold balance and just beat up on good teams, and then they'll never win it themselves, but they'll surprise and upset a few people.
Yeah, so literally, yeah, Auburn, because they're good, just like Auburn too. They're good every once in a while, but like usually consistently they aren't like a top team. But every once in a while, because I think the coaching and again they have like the offensive line thing going for them, they're pretty good every once in a while.
100%. So yeah, I mean, a lot of good games, a lot of good stuff coming up.
Yeah,
a lot of teams looking beatable. Like I said, I'm definitely rooting for my Trojans. They play Utah.
That's a tough game.
It's gonna be a tough game. I think everybody had
tough game.
They should win it, but you know what? I look at USC under Lincoln Riley, and I like that the culture has changed to more of the standard has risen for how they want to play. I think on both sides of the ball. Defensively, they're still not perfect. I mean, let's be honest, they're not a great defense, but they've played some games. This man looks like he's here. They played some games that were close, that forced them to lean on their defense a little bit more, and their defense was actually able to make some timely stops.
Shout out my guy Shane Lee, linebacker transfer from Alabama. He's been pretty good. Like he makes tackles in the run game. Pass coverage, he knows he probably gotta work a little bit on that a little better. But what's being asked of him to just fill the gaps seems like that's been happening. Caleb Williams is probably that class. If Quinn Ewers comes out, Caleb Williams and Quinn Ewers might be one of the best we've ever seen.
It's possible, even though I feel like, and I'm a USC fan, I think Caleb Williams he's a guy that is, and I had to evaluate him a little bit more, but he just seems college good to me.
Really? Wow. I'm probably biased. He's also from DC, so I'm probably biased.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he a DMV guy. So but he just seems like, I feel like he's so talented that he can get away with some things mechanically that other quarterbacks can't get away with. But obviously he'll have to improve on those things. But once again, USC's offense looks good. Defense, they're at least feisty. They're not going to lay down for anybody, and they get turnovers.
Yeah, the corners and the safeties, they're gonna fight you to the line of scrimmage. Like, they're gonna fight. They can get beat sometimes, but running that cover 2 shell, Newton, the Riley Borden over the defensive coordinator, I think they'll be eventually will be fine. Now we can see maybe they get the top 5.
But you can't ask for. I can't ask for more than that. Like I said, as long as they're trying.
Yeah, not year one.
No, not year one. And once again, they still got to make that jump to the Big Ten here in the near future. So that's going to be that's going to be a transition for them. So USC, maybe they'll be
USC, huh?
Kenny got me on here, so I'm talking USC.
Hey, we got to come on. Look. We talked the top 5. I genuinely feel like USC should have been in the top 5, but they fleeced us. But it is what it is. We're gonna see one of these teams is gonna lose, and they're gonna be like, look, it's kind of like when you picking a team, and you in high school or you in elementary, you picking a team, basketball team, and everybody lined up, and it's that one person that you don't want to pick, and he's left, and you're like, oh man, come on. That's gonna be
Michigan goes down to Penn State, and I think Tennessee loses. There goes the top 5, clearly.
And not to prolong the conversation, but I was a little surprised, honestly, that Clemson jumped Michigan. I still think Michigan's a better team. I'm not really a believer in Clemson. And Ugalele, I know I messed his name up, but anyway, it's amazing to me because when he came out of high school, like when he first got to Clemson, he was like, okay,
he was the number one quarterback.
He was supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? And I hate to use the word, but he's been, disappointing to say the least, and he'll probably still get drafted just because he was a name, but
he's not first,
man. He hasn't lived up to the hype.
Factor this in. You guys remember a few weeks ago they played Wake Forest and there was a shootout. Mm-hmm. I genuinely believe Sam Hartman is a better quarterback than DJ.
I swear he looked better. He looks so much better.
And I think Sam Hartman is a stud. I really love Sam Hartman. So
he reminds me of Bailey Zappi from last year's class. What's a Kentucky kid? Just keep throwing the ball. It's going to be.
But I think he's a little bit more talented.
The one that started in New England now. The one that was starting.
Man, he's a comfortable game 1. Literally.
Yeah.
Sam Hartman's gonna be that guy. I'm not sure if he's probably a starter year one, but he'll go to a team that maybe doesn't need him. Then somebody goes down, he comes in like, oh, the backup, this is good as a starter. He's gonna be that guy.
Word.
Most definitely. So obviously that's college football. We'll have more to update you guys on next week and in the coming weeks because there's definitely gonna be some upsets. But we got to jump into some NFL football because it's just been. I think Tom Brady said it best. It's been some ugly ass football that we've been watching. Going into
Thursday night, man.
Boy. So going into, we got. You guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
We had some really interesting games. Obviously, this is one of the ones we're talking about. Colts Broncos go to the ugliest games. Colts win 12-9. Like I said, it speaks for itself, but we'll be jumping into that one once we get through all the scores. Next one we'll jump into, obviously, Giants Packers played in London, and the Giants surprised the Packers, came back and won the game. I didn't even predict this one, so this one was pretty wild. Then a surprise, man. I'll tell you guys, man, this surprised me. I just didn't see the Bills blowing out the stip. No, let me stop playing. Either way, Bills went 38-3. Josh Allen has a game.
Sarcasm.
Gabriel Davis had one of
a game.
And God bless whoever has him, in fantasy. Good for you. So then we have the Chargers Browns, which wound up surprisingly being a little bit more competitive a game than I thought it would be. Jacoby Brissett obviously made it a game. Austin Eckler had a hell of a game. Probably had his best game of the year.
Yeah, 173 on 16 carries is not normal.
No, it's not. Right, and then obviously Williams just continues to ascend. I'll be honest. I think he's making Keenan Allen pretty expendable for that franchise.
Oh yeah,
and it's crazy to say this though, but a person could argue that the Browns should be 4-1 because this game was there for the taking. They blew a lead a couple of, like you can argue they could be 4-1. So they're playing tough.
This is probably karma.
Yeah, I think once again, I think the Browns are a good team. But they have some pieces they have to. We'll talk about that, but they have some pieces that they definitely have to add. But I think within the coming years, probably especially next year, they're going to be definitely be a team of force to be reckoned with in the AFC. So then you have Bears Vikings, which it's funny because the Vikings jumped on them, but then the Bears made it competitive. I keep telling everybody this Matt Eberflus is not going to put a scary team that's going to lay down. That's just not a Matt Eberflus type of. He doesn't put that type of culture out for his team. So they made it a fight. Obviously, Vikings came out on top 29-22. Justin Jefferson had another one of those games, 12 receptions, 154 yards, and Kirk Cousins was his normal efficient self. Still threw an interception, but he still got the job done. And then Dalvin Cook 8. Then we got, and this was a big surprise to me. I don't think anybody would have thought. I wouldn't have thought that that the no one scoring offense would get held to 0 by the Patriots.
That was crazy, man. And I picked the Lions, so just tell you how wrong I was this week.
So did we. All three of us did.
Third string QB, rookie QB.
I'm not surprised that they lost, but
not like this.
Convincingly. You know what I'm saying? They get shut out.
I started Jared Goff in fantasy. It goes that.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So then you have that, and who the fuck is that's what I hate about New England. Who the hell is Ramel Stevenson? Who the hell is this guy? Like
he's OU, right? He's Oklahoma guy. One of my friends by him for a minute.
Yeah. He's an Oklahoma guy, but I'm saying like New England, that's what they do. They get guys you've never heard of, and then you just see them playing. You're like, man, did they get this guy off the street? But
he was a 7th round pick, if I'm not mistaken, or something crazy like that.
Yeah, he had a
been with him for a couple of years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But that's what New England do. They keep playing for like 5-6 years. Like even Bolden, who's in Vegas right now, he just followed Josh McDaniels from New England. He played for New England quietly for like 7 years. Literally quietly, right? So you got Seattle and New Orleans, which I picked Seattle, but it was a good game. Geno Smith, 268 for 3 touchdowns, continues to be a force. Taysom Hill went the hell off. A 9
out
carries,
of nowhere though. Like where did
out of nowhere?
Like I hadn't heard his name all season, and then boom.
But it's just
so good, man. I can say this. I'm shocked. I'm be real. I've been shocked. He's been way better than I could have ever. I don't care.
Imagine.
Ever imagine. He's literally gotten paid. He's probably getting like 20 million. If Mark is like he's getting at least 25 million.
I'm happy for him. I really am. I like the growth. I enjoy the growth, and hell, if he continues at this pace, that Joker gonna mess around and make his first Pro Bowl. But Tyler, yeah, I mean, I think he's, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's leading the league in completion percentage. That's how good he's playing. So, but yeah, once again, Taysom Hill had a game. I think he, rushed for 2 to 3 touchdowns. He also threw for a touchdown, and he was fielding punts and just doing everything. So, man, just shout out to
fumble or something. That dude had a crazy game.
Look, and still play special teams, but still on kickoff, right? Did everything. Right. So, obviously, shout out to New Orleans for pulling that game out. It speaks volumes. So then you have the Dolphins Jets, which I didn't project this one. Obviously, me and Ron were talking about this. Teddy Bridgewater goes out with the elbow and possible concussion, and the Jets just pour it on the Dolphins, 40-17. I mean, man, Breece Hall finally is starting to really take claim to that backfield over Carter. Zach Wilson, even though he wasn't spectacular, he was steady. He did enough for them to obviously win the game, and their defense is just getting better and better. So we'll see if the Dolphins can. I don't know if Tua is going to be back next week. I think he needs to take a few weeks off, but we'll see what happens, and maybe they can get things back on track.
Yeah.
And you see, they didn't play with Teddy Bridgewater with the concussion stuff. They got him out of there right away.
And it's funny because he actually didn't have a concussion. The rule is that strict now that he kind of stumbled. He's probably there. It's like, actually, he doesn't have a concussion. He's probably
they under fire.
Seriously.
Then we got the Buccaneers Falcons. Buccaneers won 21-15. I had that controversial penalty against Grady Jarrett. I forgot what he calls it, excessive. What do you call it? Roughing the passer or something like that. I know he sacked him.
Excessive BS. That's what it is.
Excessive something.
Football, that's what it is.
It's something. I forgot what exactly they call it, but they definitely. You said then what?
And then they called one even worse last night.
One
last night was worse than this one.
Yeah.
Chris Jones. It was pretty bad.
That was even worse than this one.
Yeah, so no, and that definitely affected the outcome of the game. But the Falcons continue to be a feisty team, and the Buccaneers continue to look a little bit flawed. So once again, a lot more football to move forward, but they were able to pull that one out. Then you got the Titans Commanders. I'll tell you guys this. I don't know how the Titans are still winning football games because right now, look, I know I can't be alone on this. Like they're not. If you look at them. Their roster, they really aren't a talented football team, but great coaching. Mike Vrabel's a phenomenal coach. You find ways to win football games. Derrick Henry had a solid game. It's funny. You look at 102 yards and 2 touchdowns, and that's an average game for Derrick Henry. I don't even think we've seen the Derrick Henry yet.
That's a lot of carries.
Yeah, exactly. So, and what?
And crazy enough, so Carson Wentz, the Commanders had a chance to, win this game. Carson Wentz threw an interception in the end zone toward the end of the game. And so this week, they asked Ron Rivera some to the extent of kind of what's the difference between your team and the rest. And he says quarterback. Like he came out and apologized about it today, but he just simply says quarterback.
But I don't think you can throw your guys to the wolves. The truth is, if
not the head coach. No.
If you gamble on a guy like they gambled on Carson Wentz, you need to shut the hell up and just take. If it's an L, hold that L. But obviously he's just frustrated. But then you have this game, Texans Jaguars. This one surprised me, but I guess it can't be too surprising because it's a divisional game and the Texans are feisty and they came close to beating a few other teams. But I mean, the Jaguars struggle. I will continue to use this point until the end of time. Trevor Lawrence obviously struggling. I believe he'll get better, but this should be a cautionary tale as to why you need to stop putting all this pressure, all this investing all this stock into these young quarterbacks, because at the end of the day, the NFL is a different beast. He doesn't look anything like the quarterback we've seen in Clemson. So obviously he struggled. They didn't do much on offense, but and Damian Pierce for Houston just continues to be a revelation.
Oh yeah,
he's
absolutely.
Been great. He broke 17 tackles that game, by the way, most ever in Pro Football Focus history. One game.
You trying to be me? Trying to be me out there?
What do you have Madden on, pro?
It's hard to break 70 tackles on Madden, let alone real life. It's grown men. They get paid to do this.
Hey man, some guys just built for it. But then we got 49ers, Panthers, 37-15, what we expected. But you know what? It's funny. I said this before the game, and it obviously came out. I said, if Matt Rule loses another fucking game, they're going to fire him. And
I know you mentioned it. I had put it in the group chat because I know we were talking about it last week on the show, and I even questioned you. I said, you think so? And you were like, I mean, you called it. You said he won't make it through the year, and
no, they lose. This was the nail in the coffin. Because even though they have some inconsistency at quarterback, they have a talented roster, and they've lost a lot of games close. Obviously, this one wasn't close, but this was just it for them. So they felt like it was need to move on. And once again, the 49ers, to me, are looking like a top 3 team in the NFC. I really think that the 49ers are that good. Jimmy Garoppolo just gives them steadiness, and their defense is just continues to. They're young, they're talented. You have that safety from USC, Hufanga, who's a stud, and then obviously Nick Bosa is a defensive player of the year candidate. He went down with injury, but hopefully he comes back. But once again, just continues to be the team that we've seen for the last 2 years, and it's looking like they're going to be a factor in January, February. And then obviously the Panthers are entering.
Horrible. Like, good night, Baker Mayfield. Maybe I can blame Rule a little bit, but he's the wide receiver killer. RP DJ Moore and all my fantasy leagues. I drafted him, man. I mean,
they say he's gonna miss the next 2 to 6 weeks, so they'll be throwing PJ Walker out there. So
and you know what? And you know what? Good for PJ Walker, because he's been in the league bouncing around for a long time. I know he went to he was in the was it the XFL plan?
Yeah,
and he was
he played one of their well over there. Yeah,
he played pretty well over there. So you know what? I'm all about guys getting their shot, and this is his shot. And if not, you know, my guy Sam Darnold is coming back in a few weeks, so we gonna give him another shot. So like, I'm always right for my USC game.
God bless your heart.
God bless my heart. But okay, so then we got Cowboys Rams. This will be one of the games that we're covering. Obviously, Dallas dominant defense. They put them away, but we're gonna definitely jump more into this and just give a more in-depth take on that. Eagles Cardinals wound up being a pretty damn good game. The Cardinals had a really good game plan. This one surprised me. I thought it would be a lot further. I thought it would be like a lot more of a spread. Saw the Eagles beating them by 2 to 3 touchdowns, but the Cardinals were really able to slow the game down. In my opinion, I think that they did an amazing job kind of rattling Jalen Hurts. They didn't sack him a bunch. I think they sacked him once, but they were able to get some pressure. And he didn't throw for any touchdowns, so it wasn't like he had a great passing game. And then on offense, they were able to do just enough to just stay within striking distance. But obviously, their kicker missed.
Oh, it's just like with Kingsbury, when you called the plays in the first quarter, no points have been scored. Anytime Kyler Murray can just be backyard Kyler Murray, this is what happens. They're in every single game. If Kyler Murray can beat Kyler Murray, they're in every single game, literally. Like, I don't care who they play. If you just let him go, I don't care if it's Marcus Brown out there, Rondale Moore is out there. Somehow this happens every time. It's like they fall behind because of just the scripted part of the offense.
And I mean, but for the Cardinals, even with all that being said,
Yeah.
Although it'll be a tough divisional game, Seattle's gonna come to play next week in Seattle is a winnable game for them. So you look up and they've kind of studied the ship, stayed at 500, and then DeAndre Hopkins comes back after week 6.
Yeah.
So
exactly. So they got a shot. They definitely got a shot. So then we got Baltimore and Cincinnati. That'll be one of the last games that we cover. And jump a little bit more into. That was a good game. Obviously, the Ravens were able to pull it out.
Yeah, good game.
Really good game. And then we had the game yesterday, Chiefs Raiders. Raiders actually came in with a lot of energy, very feisty defensively. They put pressure on Mahomes early, weren't able to finish it off. Josh McDaniels just had another coaching blunder. I don't know. Maybe you guys will tell me what you think. I don't know how the hell you go for 2 with 4 fucking minutes left on the clock after clearly Kansas City misses the 2-point conversion, which gives you the ability to kick the field goal and tie it up, right? Your defense makes the stop and you get the ball back. If you kick the field goal instead of going for the 2, maybe you're in a position where it's a win-win. Either you're going to score and win the game or you're going into overtime. But no, they went for the unnecessary risk with too much time left on the clock and they paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, I know that one. I know I was told that the numbers didn't show go for it right there. They said, specifically from Raiders Wire, they said the reason why they went for the 2 right there is because they were basically in effort mode. We're on the road. We just want to win the game. We don't want to go to overtime. We don't trust Carr to beat out Mahomes if it comes to that.
But I feel like if you're in the last 2 minutes of that game,
yeah,
okay, fine, you give it a try. Yeah. But like to Kenny's point, it was over 4 minutes left. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna theoretically, you're gonna get the ball back, you think, but that could be the Patrick Mahomes effect.
Fear factor.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's clearly that guy. He has no lead is safe when he's on the field, clearly. So
well, my thing is you're not gonna beat Kansas City by 1 point with 4 fucking minutes to go. Not if you don't have, especially if you don't have a great defense. So which they do not. So that's what I think caught me off guard. But now they're 1-4. So you gotta make decisions like that. You better stand on them, and now you gotta hopefully they learn from it and they can move forward. But let's jump into these 4 games that we're gonna cover. Obviously the first one was the Thursday night game with Indy and Denver. Really, really good. Not really good game. It was a really ugly game. It was a really competitive game with 2, I hate to say it, bad teams that we thought would be good, thought would be contenders. Yeah. I mean, man, even though the Colts won, they have a lot that they have to clean up. I mean, I think Matt Ryan got sacked 6 times. He threw 2. So I'll read it like this. You look at the stats, and they're damn near identical. Like, they're actually very close. Total yards, Broncos 375, Colts 306. Passing yards, Colts 200, Broncos 250. Rushing yards, Colts 106, Broncos 125. I mean, Colts had 19 first downs, Broncos had 18 first downs. Both quarterbacks threw 2 interceptions. I mean, time of possession was 2 minutes apart. Like, this was just two terrible teams. That I was watching. I'm like, does anybody want to win this game?
Clearly they didn't.
But if you guys would give your quick thoughts, what are your thoughts on these 2 teams or just this game in general?
I feel embarrassed because, during our, Rooted in Football segment, as we were, talking about all the teams in the divisions before the season, I said that I thought the Colts were like my sleeper to make it out the AFC. And don't I look like Boo-Boo the Fool now? You know what I'm saying? I thought Matt Ryan was truly the missing piece for them, man. But I don't know, man. I don't know what to say to this, man. I will say for Indianapolis, there was no Jonathan Taylor. So I mean, I'm trying to give them some out.
And Naheem Hines got hurt. Remember that first drive?
Right?
I think he got a concussion.
He did, man. But I mean, this obviously, like we keep saying, man, this is an extremely ugly game between two evenly matched teams who are both disappointing this season. As far as Denver, I mean, you paid Russell Wilson what, $250 million?
Good night.
And if you look at his numbers, it isn't so much that his numbers are just terrible, but he's just not having the impact on that team and on that team's success that you thought a Russell Wilson would. And therein lies the issue there. He's just not having, you know what I'm saying, the type of impact that we thought he would, man. So I mean, I don't know what to say for either one of these teams. I mean, the Colts have been terrible, but at the end of the day, they're 2-2-1. They're still only a game behind Tennessee, who's 3-2. So I mean, they're still right there in the division, you know.
Sad.
Right.
So
that's crazy.
I don't know, man. Right.
Yeah. My take. I think Russ is cooked. I think Nathaniel Hackett is cooked. Very sad to say. As a Russell fan,
I agree about Nathaniel Hackett, though. I think he's a little over his head.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was ready. I mean, let's be honest.
I kept saying this on the offseason. People wouldn't believe me. I kept saying he's at the job. In the first, he's the Scott Brooks of this situation. The Wizards got Scott Brooks. They thought Durant would come. Durant didn't come.
I like that comparison.
Hackett thinking Rodgers would come. He didn't come. It never worked. It's never worked in NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB history. You sign a coach to get somebody else. No, you sign a coach because he's a good coach. And if the other guy comes, damn sure he comes. That's the reason why you do something like that. He's probably if not one of the worst coaches in the league. Rule is now fired. So, hey, Hackett, it's your time to be the worst coach in the league. Wilson is again. They played 5 games. He's
looking very Adam. He's looking very Adam Gase-ish.
He just hasn't. Nah. Russell Wilson specifically has not really outplayed a quarterback. They've either been the same level for real, or he's gotten outplayed, and that's what scares me the most. Because if you're losing, again, I'm not QB wins guy. I want you to play good, and I evaluate you based on how you played the game. He has been on the same level. Like Davis Mills, he outplayed them barely. I thought the Texans had a chance to win that game. Like
Geno Smith, outplayed
them. Period. The defense is elite. The Broncos defense. Now they outrun Darby. So Bradley Chubb has 19 pressures this season. The defense,
Randy Gregory hurt.
19 pressures this season, and he's injured. Baron Browning has been a great linebacker this year.
He looks good.
That was the weakness.
He looks good.
So wait, if you have a top 10 defense, probably minimum, the offense has to be like atrocious for you to look this bad. These are the Cowboys. Offense is bad, but
and 2 issues that they have too, even outside of I'm gonna say Russell Westbrook, even outside of Russell Wilson, is that they're terrible around the goal line or goal to goal situation.
Oh man, that's play call
terrible there. And then unfortunately Williams has gotten hurt, so now moving forward they're gonna be relying a little heavily on Melvin Gordon, and he has like 4 or 5 fumbles already this season.
Already he does, yeah.
Like he can't hold on to the ball. So
we got like 11, 12 games to play.
Exactly.
Melvin Gordon, I've been saying this for years. I don't think he's him. The Chargers let him go. It looks like a W.
He never was.
He had me fooled for a while, but
yeah,
I think they knew.
You know,
I think they knew with Austin Eckler coming in that he was expendable. But he had me fooled.
Well, you know what? You know what the sad part is? We save Jonathan Taylor, who I will bar none say is the greatest Wisconsin running back to ever play in the National Football. All of them are all of them are mirages. Mm-hmm. All of them, I mean, all of them will come in. They'll look like the greatest running back to ever live. Monte Ball. You had Bennett. You had what's the kid? Was it Ronald? Ron
Dane there?
Ron Dane.
Yeah.
You know, you had all these players to come out of Wisconsin, and a lot of them just they don't pan out in the National Football League. Now, Melvin Gordon is not a bust. Melvin Gordon's been a Pro Bowler, but I think obviously there's a ceiling to his game. And to me, he's at his best when paired with another strong runner. It sucks that Javonte Williams went down because I really liked last year. They were a really good 1-2 combo between the two. I thought they were really good. So
and I guess that's always been the situation that Melvin, even when Melvin Gordon was making Pro Bowls, he was still kind of splitting with Eckler. So I guess that's been the situation where he's been the most successful anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely a place for him. Like, he's not a terrible player, but he's not a guy you want carrying the load for 20, 25 carries a game. Now, I say this for Denver. You guys can tell me what you guys think on this before we move on. I think that they're fastly approaching the time where you're going to have to start looking at next year. Like, you might not be able to salvage this year because what foundation do they really have to go off of? You have a quarterback that who has been playing below his ability, and now he's hurt. He has a if I'm not mistaken, a torn ligament in his shoulder, and he's playing through that. You have a head coach who looks like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Right? God bless him. And you have a buffet of injuries on the offense and defensive side of the ball. They already had an average offensive line. Now you lose Garrett Bowles, probably your best guy for the season. So for me, I'm looking at the Broncos and I'm like, maybe you guys just need to, not now, but in a few weeks, you may just need to start cashing in and start thinking about next year. And I mean, I'll say this: Nathaniel Hackett, in my opinion, is a 1-year hire.
Oh, he's canned.
Oh yeah,
he's done.
That I will agree with. I still think it's a little too early to kind of wave the white flag because I mean we're about to go into week 6. Obviously the division, they can probably cancel Christmas on a division, but
maybe second. The Chargers are hurt just like them. The Chargers are out getting everybody right now. So besides Herbert, and Eckler,
but even they have hope. At least they have some hope.
Yeah, and they're young.
Yeah, and they have some foundation. They have some positives to go off of. When you watch the Broncos, they have a good defense, but I mean, shit, they had a top 5 defense last year, and they only won 7-8 games.
Yeah,
and the Chargers have just first round pick, so the Broncos don't. Exactly. I think Seattle owns the pick for a couple years, if I'm not mistaken.
So if you can't fix Rush, you better change the head coach. So they put themselves in a bind. So it's a pretty nasty situation. So obviously we'll have to see how that situation pans out moving forward. I have to see who do they play next week.
I know they back prime time. I know they play Monday night. I forgot.
They need to stop. Look, they need to stop that shit. They need to keep them off of prime time. They do.
But I know it's another Monday. I'll look it up real quick. I know it's another one.
Last week. It is I'm on it. It is the Chargers. I have the Chargers in that one. And it's in LA, but that's what I mean. The Chargers.
God bless them. God bless them. If the Chargers lose that game, I don't want to hear anything about the AFC West anymore. We'll cancel Christmas on that. But obviously, moving on from the Broncos, we got the Giants Packers. I think me and him both picked the Packers in this game.
We did.
We thought they were the more, which they are. Yep, they're the more talented team. You got Aaron Rodgers, who is 4-time MVP, first time. I mean, he's going to be a walk-in first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and
he's still struggling to elevate these guys around him without Devontae Adams. What were your thoughts? What were you guys' thoughts on this game?
Well, I'll say this. I think right now, and they're 4-1 right now, and this might be crazy to say, Brian Daboll might be my coach of the year right now. Like,
not a bad thing.
What he's doing with the Giants, and of course, Saquon Barkley coming back and being healthy also has something to do with it. But it feels like they actually believe that they have a winning recipe. Like, they feel like they're supposed to win games. Because like you said, you and I, we both picked Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? I think we both figured, Aaron Rodgers would figure it out or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like Brian Daboll has really just inspired this team. Saquon Barkley, if I'm not mistaken, he's leading the league in rushing. So he's having a really, really great comeback season. And then Daniel Jones, numbers won't blow you away, but 21 for 27, 217.
Very efficient.
He didn't, efficient. He didn't get a touchdown, but he didn't turn the ball over either. And that's all they really needed him to do. Make a throw or two, hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley, let the defense kind of do what it needs to do. And that's what happened today. And then Sunday, excuse me. And as for Green Bay, I mean, it seems like he's still Aaron Rodgers is still having a problem trying to find a rapport with some of these younger guys. He had his boy Cobb back. Cobb and Lazard were back, and those were the two leading receivers for him. But I mean, when it comes to dude, I think that's his name, who's had a couple games this year. I mean, Watson. So much for Christian Watson. The man, he only got one target the whole game. Like, I'm
gonna tell you guys this, and I got flamed for saying this. Everybody's like, "Oh, Kenny, he's good." I told people Christian Watson is a developmental prospect. He's immensely talented, but that they overdrafted the hell out of him over better receivers than him.
Clearly,
I'll just leave that right there.
But yeah, I mean, was MVS, who was another project. So.
And it took him 2 to 3 years to even start to do anything, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Green Bay got some issues they obviously need to deal with, and I think for once, we can say that they're the second best team now in the NFC North. Those days of them dominating the division are over.
It's over.
It's over. In the NFC East, all of a sudden, the NFC least is probably the best division in football. And I never thought I would say that.
Even though last year I don't think that they were terrible. I thought that they improved last year.
They did. People give them a lot of junk, talk a lot of junk about them, but they did. But this year, you got a 5-0 team, 2-4-1 teams.
And the crazy part is I don't think Washington is a bad team.
They could be 3-3. They're 2-3. They could be 3-2.
They're not Carolina bad.
I could see Washington actually having I want to say winning record, but I think they can win some football games this year. I think that's where they're at. But
I see about 7.
Yeah, max 7. That's the ceiling.
Yeah.
Ron, what you got?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Green Bay's scaring me. That was my pick to come out the NFC. It's not looking good. I'm not looking forward to seeing them in the playoffs. The defense was supposed to carry them. I predicted this to be dang near probably the best defense this year. It is disappointed. The offense could do this. That was the expectation. But the defense was supposed to be minimally top 5.
Thank you. They were supposed to.
Rashawn Gary was getting Defensive Player of the Year, like dark horse, which I think by the way, he's still been really good. But he hasn't been Defensive Player of the Year worthy yet. They have a good player in every single unit. Most teams don't have that. Kenny Clark.
They have 3 stud corners.
No, 3 stud corners. Rasul Douglas has had this career resurgence out there. Eric Stokes. Right? Some people think Jair, when he's healthy, is the best or one of the best corners in the league. Yeah. You still have Adrian Amos as the safety. They have a good
Darnell
Savage.
I love Darnell Savage.
Devondre Campbell is the middle linebacker who had an amazing year last year. So
again, made the Pro Bowl
every level. What is the defense right now? That's scary to me. The offense,
it's solid at best.
It's solid at best. That the defense, they gotta turn. And then with the Giants, man, I kept telling people, I said, man, Daboll's damn near probably the second or third best play caller in the league. I watched Josh Allen be one of the worst QBs in the league to now damn near the best. He's 1B. There's he's a tier 1 quarterback. Now, Josh Allen worked his butt off to be this. It's not taking anything away from him. But your coordinator matters when you're a quarterback and you're that young and you're from Wyoming and he had nothing going for him. All he had was traits. The mental was not there yet. And we're seeing how Trey Lance looked. Year 1. Right. Same type of traits, but it takes a while to get that underway. Daboll got him in there. He's like, I think Shanahan will do with Lance eventually. And we see what happens. And now Daniel Jones is still like bottom 10 in QBRs. I mean, I'm not going in EPA per play. He's been great. But he didn't turn the ball over. He's Cooper Rush in it out there. He's Jimmy Garoppolo in it out there. He's Ryan Tannehill in it out there nowadays. Like he's doing that. Just don't turn the ball over. I need to make 2-3 plays, and we can win games like that. He's doing it.
If he can do that, the way Saquon Barkley's running the ball, the way their defense is playing,
Barkley's been great.
They might forget the 10 wins. Who knows?
But I'm gonna say this, guys. And obviously we're gonna move on after this. I still think that there's something there with Daniel Jones. I still do.
Really?
I still do. I think. I think. No, I do. I look at the soul. I look at now that he is getting. Because one thing I like about Brian Daboll, he's very confident in his ability. and his ability to build a culture and improve players. And you've seen, say whatever you want to say, by hook or crook, you've seen a better Daniel Jones.
Definitely.
And I think that if he can build off of this game piece by piece, another thing, they have to identify who are going to be these guys that are going to step that he can throw to. To me, in my opinion, I think this game shows you Darius Slayton needs to be one of those guys.
Stop. It has to be, because I think Sterling Shepard's out for the season.
Sterling Shepard, Kenny Galladay.
We don't know. I mean,
you need to get it
to be done.
You need
to be done.
You need to take on half that man's contract and get him up out of there, right? Just for the synergy of the ball club, and then you got the kid that they drafted last year who's he's still in a flux. Kadarius Toney, but they have something that they can build off of. But you need to keep. This is what you call purging season. What Brian Flores went through in Miami. If you remember, Brian Flores was there that first, losing games at first. And then you start having people that weren't buying into his program. What did he do? He got them the fuck up out of there. He got Minkah Fitzpatrick the hell up out of there. Then the guys that bought in, they start winning football games. Then they became a winning football team. So I think go. And he turned that franchise around. And with Brian Daboll, I think most of these guys are buying in, but you have to turn to the guys that are working best for what it is that you're trying to build. To me, Daniel Jones, you can still do a lot with him. There's still ability. We're talking about him Cooper rushing it. I really think Daniel Jones can be a good quarterback in this league if given the chance, and if he continues to build on what he's been doing. When it comes to Saquon Barkley, I'll say this because Swan, I've always been critical of him.
Mm-hmm.
He is finally becoming a flag carrier, which is something I didn't ever think I'd see out of him. He looks like a guy that can actually lead your team. I didn't think he had that in him. And you could tell that Brian Daboll is really putting a lot on him, but they have great chemistry, and he's just great coaches find ways to win football games. And that's what you've seen today. But I'm loving, even as a Dallas fan, but as a football fan, I'm loving seeing this New York team get excited about winning again, to the point to where you got Landon Collins that signed back. And he's not.
Odell visited. Let's not forget. Odell visited.
Look, and I'm gonna tell you this: if Odell, I love it. The cowboy in me might hate it, but the football guy in me will love it.
Amazing for the New York market.
It's great for the market. It's great for the team, and to me, that's what he hasn't been the same since he left there. Go back, go home. And
I was just gonna say, and speaking of the New York market. Coming into the season after 5 weeks, who would have guessed that the Giants would be 4-1 and the Jets would be 3-2?
Ah, man.
Good. Watch this. God bless them, right?
Right. Look, they would have cashed out on that one.
Yeah. But no, most definitely. Definitely a surprising win, but we're definitely excited for the New York Giants and what they're building, and then hopefully the Packers can figure something out. But to me, right now, I'll leave it at this. To me, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't.
Oh no, I don't think so either.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't see it. Because I don't think they're going to win the division, and I think that there will be better teams that will beat them to a wild card spot. But that's another story for another day. So then next we got it's a fun one: Cowboys and Rams.
Very fun. I had a great time.
Obviously we're seeing a defense that is looking like at times the league's best. But they're on the field all game, and I mean they're confident. They're damn near I don't want to say arrogant, but they're very boisterous with how good that they are.
As they should be.
As they should be. The defensive round, who is considered the odds favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year, Micah Parsons, at leading that defense. But then you have a buffet of other guys, Dorrance Armstrong. I got to make sure I say his name loud for Ron. Dorrance Armstrong, DeMarcus Lawrence, Trayvon Diggs. I mean, the names go on, but this defense has really carried. This defense has really carried them to 4-1. I don't think if this defense isn't as good, I don't think.
That's my guy.
Malik Hooker who was a first round pick at Ohio State, is starting to step into his own and become a better player. But and then obviously, this was the Rams are just struggling right now, kind of getting some consistent offense going, and then defensively they have some things they're figuring out as well as far as rushing the passer and just really getting consistent stops. What are you guys' thoughts on this game?
Man, so let me just start with the Cowboys. So much applause to go around. You know what I'm saying? Dan Quinn has this defense. That might have been the best hire. Screw Mike McCarthy. That might have been the best hire the Cowboys made, was bringing Dan Quinn in for this defense. Micah Parsons. I don't remember a single player having this type of impact on a defensive unit in quite some time. Like, not just it, I feel like he's becoming a leader, and here we are in year 2. I feel like he's becoming, a leader with his play on and off the field. Like, and I think we mentioned this Sunday they played the Rams. Obviously, we got who's widely regarded as the best defensive player in the league in Aaron Donald. And they both ended up with 2 sacks, but watching that game, Micah Parsons was far more impactful on the Cowboys than Aaron Donald was on the Rams.
Sure.
And I think, by season's end, that it'll be a legit argument as to who's the best defensive player in the league. Cooper Rush, he's just doing his job. I think that for the people, I'll say this, it's kind of a catch-22 because I guess you do got to ride your hot hand, and the Cowboys have been winning with him under center. But I think that the people who think that they should just stick with Cooper Rush, even when Dak Prescott gets healthy, should just pump the brakes. Like, there's levels to this thing, okay? And
he completed 10 passes.
For
102 yards.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not act like Cooper Rush is dacking Tony Romo. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the case at all. You know what I'm saying? He's doing what he's supposed to do as a backup quarterback.
Applause.
Run game's been pretty successful, and the defense is phenomenal. Top 3 defense easily. You can argue the best easily.
Let Ryan tell it, but go ahead.
Oh my God!
Ryan's
no words.
But like you said though, he gonna stand his ground.
Everything he says, yeah.
And the Rams, man, they miss Odell, they miss Whitworth. Their O-line is terrible. And talk about teams that might miss the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna jump out on that limb quite yet, but it's not looking good. And then the 49ers are heading in the opposite direction. You know what I'm saying? They're ascending. I'm scared for this team, man. It might be a Super Bowl hangover. I'm scared for this team.
Watch this. Can we say this? And I say this before Ryan, before you go. I think Seattle's a better team right now.
They're certainly playing better.
The defense is just so bad in Seattle, though.
They're certainly.
I like the corner they got though. Stud. They need some more pieces on the defense. The offense is better though. Be real.
I can see. Watch this. I can see Seattle beating the Rams.
At this point, it wouldn't surprise me.
If they go in Seattle, I think Seattle gets that game. That's upset alert. Has to be.
That wouldn't surprise me one bit. Bo, what's happening?
My guys, let's tap in.
Yeah,
hey, Bo, we covering your game next. So.
Oh yeah, stand by.
Yeah, we about to cover your game next. But
Ron, go ahead, man.
Yeah, the Rams O-line. I'm not gonna lie, it's them and the Bengals worst O-line in the league.
And the Bears. Sorry, I gotta throw my Bears in there.
Crap. No, I lied. It's the Bears. In there. I can't forget that team because they were doing my boy Jay Fields a dirty But the 2 teams in the Super Bowl to have this bad of offensive lines, the Bengals, it gotta feel worse because you actually put in money into this O-line. Bengals, I'd be terrified. Lyle Collins, we saw on the little ticker below the little thing. He's been bad. So the Rams O-line, it has to get fixed. And again, this is Cam Akers. I think Cam Akers is a good player. He's averaging 3.1 yards per carry this year. This is why I always say O-line, then running back, because I don't care how good the running back is, unless he's damn near Barry Sanders level. You got to have a line for the running back to kind of be a good player. We see Najee Harris, 3.2 yards per carry. I don't think he's that bad.
No, he's not.
He's 3.5 yards per carry. You need the O-line. Darrell Henderson didn't touch the ball last week. Cam Akers, 3.1 yards per carry. Cooper Kupp, now, I mean, I say within top 5. I was freaking wrong on that. I'm sorry. I put him in there. He just keeps, he's too productive. Like, I didn't think he could do it twice. I didn't think it was possible. If he does it again, it's like at this point, I'll become a hater.
I mean, the amount of targets he gets is insane, though.
Oh, it's insane, though. But for a team to know that and still works every time 2 years in a row is crazy to me.
It's talking about the Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, like he's target monster. He's Derrick Henry, like running, wide receivers and like target share.
Well, I'll say this, and this is my real thoughts. Once again, Cooper Kupp is a great player, but you're not going to beat anybody with Cooper Kupp. And I think that teams have figured that out. They're like,
yes,
okay.
Yeah, that's
I think teams have said, okay, well, Cooper Kupp's not going to beat us on his own, so we'll let him get his little 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and
pace impact.
He doesn't. He does not.
That means not Justin Jefferson impact, but that's just Jamar.
He's not going to draw triple. I'll put it like this: teams feel comfortable leaving one guy on him.
Yeah,
they don't. They're not.
He'll give his.
Diggs didn't even travel. I mean, he did get Diggs in that. That was a hell of a throw. I'm not gonna lie. Stafford didn't have a good game, but he made some throws, man.
No,
I think it was a little bit on both. I think it was not the best angle, and then I think it was just a good throw.
Yeah, because Diggs cheated a little bit. Really.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah, Diggs cheated.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, when you look at this game, first of all, I'll say this: there was never a point where I felt like, and I think I said this to Swan last week, this was a bad matchup for the Rams, like a terrible matchup. So probably the worst matchup they could have got.
With this game, I thought the Rams had to win this, and they did have to win this game. He still lost.
But okay, so this is where the arrogance comes into play. I just knew, because I'm a big Sean McVay fan, I just knew that Sean McVay was going to make some adjustments going into this game. Obviously experiencing everything especially just coming off the Niners game where he got sacked 7 fucking times. And I just knew that coming against Dallas, who has the league's best pass rush, that you would make adjustments. I foresaw him doing something similar to what he was doing in 2020. I don't know if you remember, he condensed the scheme. So he wasn't playing a lot of spread out stuff. Everything was a lot closer to the line, more 2-3 tight end sets, just to get the ball out quick. And it was able to kind of substitute what they didn't have in the running game. He didn't do that. He playing against his Dallas Cowboys front 4, front 7, going 4 or 5 wide. I'm like, who the hell are you doing?
The Rams have their run game is non-existent.
They had 35. They had like 35, 36 rushing yards in that game.
38.
Okay. Look, watch this. My bad. So let's factor this in. We're talking about, you say you don't want to go out on that limb and say that they're not a playoff team, but let's look at the God's honest truth. They're a team with protection issues. I think they have the worst offensive line in the league right now. Injuries, inconsistency. I think they have the worst offensive line in the league. In an NFC full of elite pass rush teams, right? Yeah. The Vikings can rush the passer. The Cowboys, the Eagles,
the Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers can rush the passer, right?
The Saints.
The Saints, the watch this. The Packers, who I don't even think are going to make the playoffs, can rush the passer.
And
when the Commanders get Chase Young back, they got 4 first rounders up there.
Exactly. So you have that. You have protection issues, and you can't run the football.
And you have you have elite receiver, but you have no explosive receiver. It's different.
True.
No explosive receiver, and defensively, here's the crazy part. Let's think about this. Aaron Donald got those 2 sacks because they smartly, and I think Raheem Moore made a really good move. You put him on Tyler Smith, the rookie, and let him eat, right? But I don't know if you guys have realized this. The Rams have struggled to get to the quarterback in the past 3 to 5 weeks. Like they haven't been great at getting to the quarterback. So you are struggling on defense too, getting to the quarterback and making a big impact there. So right now, this is a team that's struggling in so many different areas. And
it doesn't look like a playoff team. If they didn't win a Super Bowl last year, everyone said they wouldn't make the playoffs. But we have to give respect to them because they did win a Super Bowl last year. But if they didn't, I would predict them not to make the playoffs.
Exactly. So to me, that's kind of how you have to assess it. But yeah, this was just a terrible matchup for the Rams, and hopefully Sean McVay can make some adjustments. We're gonna see what he's made of. But if they don't get any type of running game going, they don't find a way to protect Matthew Stafford, I think they're going to struggle. Allen Robinson, I'll say this, I don't think he's cooked. I just think right now he's not a fit for what they're doing. And I said this, and watch this, and I said this in the offseason when they traded him. People have continued to underestimate how important Robert Woods was for that team. Robert Woods was very important to that offense. He was a key call. Robert Woods was there when Sean McVay got there. He built that offense around Robert Woods' skill set. Robert Woods, you had Brandon Cooks, you drafted Cooper Kupp. You literally built your scheme around these guys' skill set.
And now, to Ron's point, he can be that deep threat that they need because Allen Robinson is a possession receiver.
Yeah, he is. He's a possession guy. Yeah. But here's the thing: you haven't really, maybe you still haven't realized how to get him the ball, and you don't have the time to get him the ball because he's not a guy that's gonna get open in 1 second. That's not who he is.
He's 50-50 ball guy.
Right, 50-50 ball guy. So a lot of struggles for them. Hopefully they figure it out. Dallas defensively, obviously they got that big game against Philly. I'll be wide up. I'm going somewhere to go watch this game. It's gonna be fun. And then hopefully I think it's looking like we'll see what happens Wednesday. Dak Prescott might play in that game.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. And I mean,
I wonder what Jerry Jones has to say about this.
He said he has to see how he plays on Wednesday. He said he has to play. He has to play on Wednesday. He has to practice on Wednesday, see how he spins it. But to me, this team, has done a really phenomenal job. Defensively, obviously, they're great. Cooper Kupp has done exactly what I thought that he could do, which was help them win 2 to 3 very winnable games against teams with protection issues. And he's done that. And he's only scored 4 touchdowns in 4 weeks. But, I mean, watch this. The offense has only scored 4 touchdowns in 4 weeks.
He's literally everything. I've never seen an offense built around a receiver like this.
I mean, y'all, this is the 27th ranked offense in the league. That's why I'm like, man, these people are crazy. These people are saying Dak Prescott needs to get replaced. This is a 27th ranked fucking offense in the league. They were number 1 last year. But that's another story. Another story for another day. Literally. But
and shout out to the young Cowboys like Osa Odighizuwa, who's second in pass rush win rate to Aaron Donald. I'm like, what?
Oh yeah,
that's what you get out of a detail.
Yeah.
Wilson. Anthony Brown. People hate on Anthony Brown.
Solid. He's solid. He's solid.
Is he elite? No, but does he get beat every week? He doesn't really get deep.
And he's always there. Watch this. And if someone does catch the ball on him, he's always there.
Yeah, with Antonio Brown being week 1, greatest receiver of the last 5 years, this is what people are holding on to. He doesn't, as a number 2 corner, he's what you asked for. I don't need you to be elite. I need you to be okay.
Yeah,
just don't lose us a game. Number 2 corner.
He's to me, he's every bit as talented as Larry Brown in the 90s.
Oh, you did say that.
He's Larry Brown. Hey,
and
Larry Brown wasn't great. Right? But no, once again, fun game. We'll see what happens with them both teams moving forward. But then we got the game. Obviously, I got my boy Bo. Bo's leaning in. I'm excited to see. Look, be on the lookout for the comments because I want to see what he's got to say. We had the Cincinnati-Baltimore game, which went down to the wire. Obviously, Cincinnati was able to jump on Baltimore, and they were up, and then Baltimore was able to come back and kick the last-minute field goal to win the game. But, to tell the truth, this was a good game all around, evenly matched. Both quarterbacks struggled, both through turnovers. Both defenses, I think, gave valiant efforts, against great offenses. What were your thoughts on you guys' thoughts on this game? What were some of the factors that went into the outcome?
Well, before I go on, would it be crazy to pay Justin Tucker like quarterback money.
I mean, he's still a kicker, but he's.
I find myself asking, is he the greatest kicker of all time?
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
You
all the time I say that.
I guess my only thing is, he doesn't have a ring yet, but if you say yes, I wouldn't argue with you, man. I mean, the crazy part is, like, you can legitimately get to like the 45 and be confident that he's gonna make a 60-yarder, a 62-yarder.
It's not normal.
Confidently, he's gonna make it, and that's crazy. But anyway, we have been talking about Lamar and some of the strides that we had seen him making in the pocket. This was one of those games where it wasn't going in that direction. He definitely missed some throws. He missed Duvernay. I think he missed Duvernay twice. So as far as in the pocket, wasn't necessarily his best game until that final drive. He made some plays during that final drive. He led them in rushing. He had 58 rushing yards. So, I mean, just as far as Baltimore, just continuing this season to see the maturation and the progression of Lamar Jackson in the pocket and see if he can revert more back to those first few games that he had, as far as in the pocket. I mean, Mark Andrews is Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, just steady, reliable, great hands, phenomenal. If Travis Kelce is probably the number one guy around the goal line, and Mark Andrews might be second. You know what I'm saying? So steady, reliable guy. As far as the Bengals, man, it's kind of similar to a lot of things we were saying with the Rams. Their O-line is terrible, and it's even worse for them because they went out and spent a lot of money to try to upgrade this O-line, but this O-line is terrible. Teams are really like kind of honing in on Jamar Chase. I don't think we've seen him have that one, explosive game yet thus far this season. And obviously, they have a phenomenal receiving core with Higgins and Boyd, but because their O-line has been so bad, Joe Burrow hasn't necessarily had the time to really, hit these guys and pick defenses apart on a consistent basis. And thus, I mean, they're finding themselves losing games now. So now they've started 2-3. It's crazy that both our Super Bowl teams are
struggling
100 right now. They're both struggling, and primarily for the same reason, because of their O-line. So, I mean, do I think Cincinnati? I believe I have more confidence that Cincinnati can kind of get it together than I do in the Rams, just because I think the Rams just got multiple issues, and the NFC is all of a sudden NFC's kind of loaded. But yeah, I mean, I still think Cincinnati will pull it together. I still think Cincinnati is a playoff team. I think Baltimore will win this division, but I still think Cincinnati's a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, going off what Bo said, Lamar, this is probably his worst game of the year. Mm-hmm. He made the plays at the end to get Justin Tucker in field goal range, and when Justin Tucker's in range, he's 25 of 26 in his career under 2 minutes with kicks. So he's been that good. Yeah, and he's kicking in Baltimore too. He's kicking outside, but so did Vinatieri. Vinatieri also kicked outside for half of his career. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, going into that, Baltimore's defense did at least run a good amount of cover 2 this week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why they fired Wink? Wink has been great when he was at Baltimore, but he blitzed when you should not. But he's going to blitz regardless. Todd Bowles-esque. Sometimes you blitz when you play certain quarterbacks like Joe Burrow. If you blitz, you will lose the game. That's why they lost 41-20 last year. Jamar Chase, he's getting the Tyreek Hill treatment. Period.
Yeah.
Teams are not going to let him get off deep. They're not. They're going to let anybody else do it. T. Higgins can get off. Tyler Boyd can get off. They are not going to let Jamar Chase get high. Last year, Tyreek Hill did not have even 2 catches of 40-plus yards. Teams were like, we're not allowing this to happen. I don't care how good you are. Let somebody else beat us. It won't be you, Tyreek Hill. Jamar Chase is getting that type of treatment. And to be honest, it's kind of good for your offense because that's giving other guys a chance to do it because other guys are going to be one-on-one every game. They're going to give Jamar Chase all the attention. The O-line, we've said this is a bottom 4. O-line.
Mhm.
Bad. Joe Mixon scared me a little bit. Missing.
Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah,
This is that running back second contract. He's scaring me a little bit. So I'm gonna say I don't want to throw it out yet. But this is very Kamara and all that. I'm just like, the explosiveness looking a little gone. The pass blocking can still catch, but I don't see it anymore. Now I think he's still a good running back, but he might be a guy that Madden thinks is better than he actually is in real life.
well, it might be time to maybe try to, split some carries. You know what I'm saying? Maybe get P Ryan a few more touches.
He might be looking all right out there. So I think they're trying to get more towards that. And then to finish off with the Bengals, Zach Taylor, aka Cliff Kingsbury, these are the same guy. Like, just because you get to the Super Bowl one time,
I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can disrespect Zach Taylor
just
like
because the Bengals overachieved, which they did. They should have lost the first game since they have getting sacked 9 times. If they would have lost that game, then we would have a whole different outlook.
The playoff game, the Tennessee playoff game, was it?
Yeah,
but they won some pretty. I can't do that to Zach Taylor. Not Cliff Kingsbury, who was a loser in college.
I really don't think Zach Taylor's him. I don't. I think he's gonna hold.
Even if he's not him,
he's not Cliff Kingsbury.
I'm really telling you, this is my high take. Kingsbury. I think he's on that caliber of
flaming hot.
He's not LaFleur. He's not on that level. He's not. People probably think he's close to LaFleur. No.
See, so I don't think that highly of LaFleur.
LaFleur can't win playoff games.
Yeah, but this is okay. Now, do we think the Bengals are going to win playoff games this year? I don't. I'll
say this. I'll say this. I have more confidence in what the Bengals are building. First of all, Joe Burrow, I think, said it the best in the press conference. Everything's ahead of us. We'll be okay. We'll figure it out.
For sure.
I don't feel the same way about the Packers. They had 13. They had 3 straight 13-win seasons and did nothing with it.
Yeah.
Last 2 seasons they've had
conference championships,
the back-to-back MVP and the number 1 seed in the NFC with home field advantage, and they lost.
And didn't score a touchdown, by the way.
Ever do that? Just those 3 years. The Bengals will never go 13-3 3 years in a row. The Bengals will
But they don't need to. They'll win a playoff game.
And they're in a division where, you know what I'm saying, Mike Tomlin, it'll probably end this year, but Mike Tomlin still hasn't had a losing season. And Baltimore is going to be relevant. The Packers were in the NFC North.
Yeah. So
they're in a better. So think about it. They're in a better division.
Mm-hmm. But
so if they make the play,
I don't think.
But they've been beating up. I'm a Bears fan. They beat up on the Bears. They beat up on the Lions. At worst they split with Minnesota. So that's 5-6 wins there.
I don't see that. I don't see them split with me. I think Minnesota sweeps.
No. This year Minnesota is the best team in the division.
Well, it depends what time they play Minnesota. Is it 1:00 or is it 8:30?
Oh.
Let's be real. It matters. It does.
That's a very valid point.
That's my guy. He was 12 for 12 last week. It's 1:00.
Yeah, he started. Yeah.
But going back to them, the Bengals, I think, still have a chance to win the division. Now, Baltimore looks pretty good, and Cleveland gets Deshaun back week 11. If they can be again like a game above 500, they got a chance to make the playoffs. Because if Deshaun can be better than Brissett, which might be a little hard, people think, because Brissett has been better than average. Like, he hasn't been
solid. He's been solid.
He's been better than just game manager guy. He's actually had to make some throws and be somewhat of a guy, more than even I thought he was capable of. So the Bengals
he almost beat the Chargers because Brandon Staley once again.
I'm off Brandon Staley
with a stupid.
He said, after the analytics, I'm done with Brandon Staley.
Once again, and they got him right there. Unfortunately, he threw a pick in the end zone, but
yeah.
Can I say this? And this is one thing I will say. If Brissett is able to lead that team to a winning record by the time Deshaun Watson comes back, I don't think you bench him.
Okay, no, you have to bench him.
No, family.
You went through 2 just PR wise.
First of all,
Deshaun Watson
too much to sit him out the whole season.
Okay, but think about this: Deshaun Watson looked terrible in the preseason. He looked abysmal.
Yeah, but he got $250 million guaranteed.
Sometimes he looked terrible. He looked pretty bad. He's missed it. He's missed a year. So think about this: if you have a chance to actually make the playoffs, and Jacoby Brissett, let's say Jacoby Brissett continues to play at a solid level, or if he plays better, I just don't see you sitting him.
Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think reports were Deshaun Watson is finally allowed back, at the facility this week. So it kind of gives him, a few weeks of a head start to really, get back going and learn more about their system and whatnot. So, I mean, you just paid that man too much money to have him sit out the entire season.
Out there week 1.
You got to ride him. You got to put him out there.
And Brissett looks good. He hasn't looked that good yet.
And I think it's just looking at what Deshaun has done in his last year and a half body of work, and I'm to be honest, to me it's not impressive enough to say that this guy needs to start. But anyway, that's another story for another day.
I mean, I know the little bit we seen of him in the preseason wasn't great, but the last time we seen him on the field, full time,
they lost.
They were losing, but he was arguably
he was a garbage time quarterback.
He was arguably a
Deshaun Watson. I will say this.
How do we get back to this?
I will say I don't know, but I will make sure I remind people this every time it turns around. Deshaun Watson has phenomenal talent. His best football days are ahead of him. He can make plays that others can't. But he hasn't proven anything. He's not a winning quarterback. He's terrible against winning teams, and he's a garbage time quarterback.
We can say something about Justin Herbert, though.
All that,
that's fair. But I'm all about, even if I don't make excuses, if you're talented and you're not able to win, it's just kind of like it's one of those. Like right now, I have no pity for Aaron Rodgers. You're supposed to true,
but before coming into last season, was Deshaun Watson not arguably a top 5 quarterback before?
I think he was a top 5. I think he was a top 5 talent.
He's top 10 guaranteed when he was playing. Though he was top 10 guaranteed.
I mean, you can say that, but my thing is when
even the year they were terrible, he led the league in passing yards, and he had like 35, 36 TDs.
But they only won 4 games.
But that was more of a culture thing. Like the Texans. Their culture as a whole.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this: do you consider Deshaun Watson a transcendent talent?
Nah, probably transcendent. Nah,
I do.
Okay. Watch this. Okay, and I'm glad you said that. Transcend.
I mean, but that was one season.
4 wins is not
season. 4 wins is crazy. I'm like
4 wins.
Previous to that, he was making the playoffs. He wasn't winning.
Watch this. He was making playoffs with this arguably the second best wide receiver in football in DeAndre Hopkins and a buffet of actually very nice defensive pieces.
And Bill O'Brien as his coach.
And Bill O'Brien's a great coach. To me, not a great coach, but he's a good coach. He's a good coach.
This is definitely high.
He's a good coach. It's a proven fact. Bill O'Brien is a good coach.
He's not even the offensive coordinator right now for NFL.
Well, he's the offensive coordinator for Alabama.
Well, I'll say this.
By choice.
Not to drag this along, but I do hope that they do play him come week 11, week 12, because I want to see him get back out
argument. There. They're going to play him. He makes $20-30 million.
Okay. Look, you're right. Look, they're going to play him, but I'm just putting everybody on standby. I love the talent, but I think he gets a lot of free passes. Outside of his situation, that obviously he just kind of got over. I don't want to talk about that anymore, but. I think he gets a lot of free passes for some of his struggles in play and ability to win those around him. I mean, that's a big thing. And he's not a baby anymore. So, I mean, the truth is he's coming to this roster. There should be no reason why you pay him all this money.
On him now, moving, especially not even so much. I wouldn't even say so much when he comes back this season, but next season.
Probably
more pressure
on next year.
Oh yeah, exactly. So that's it. I just want the fair. I just want fair criticism for him because he really hasn't proven a damn thing yet. He's not Patrick Mahomes and won all these AFC championships. He got one playoff win. He has I think he's only won like 7. He's like 7-18 against winning teams. Like he's bad. But yeah. So
valid.
Yeah. But either way, like I said, Cincinnati Baltimore game really good. Both teams have a lot more to work on. This could have went either way. And the next time they play, and the next time they could play, it could be very different. He said, I'm late, but where does Baltimore go without Bateman?
I don't know.
Hey, look, to Andy Isabella.
Y'all, maybe assign him. I think Lamar and Duvernay really have to really work on that rapport together. And I mean, you've been depending on Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be all right. You know, Bateman's is he done for
the season?
Nah.
No, I don't think so.
He's done for like he's
short
term.
He's
Short term IR.
Yeah, nah. He's probably like. Well, how long is he out, Bo? I don't think he's out that long. I'm not.
I know you're watching, Bo. How long is Bateman out?
Or something like that. But
he's gonna get to us. He'll let us know. But
I
could see this. You know what I'm liking about this Cincinnati Baltimore? I think it's becoming, dare I say, the new Pittsburgh Baltimore. Like, where I think they're going to go back and forth, and you're going to see a lot of these low-scoring games. Because when you watch this game, both defenses play good. Cincinnati's defense is not bad; they're actually very solid. They're respectable.
Defense has been all right.
Our guy, they're great. Wuzie looks good. Eli Apple's not a pushover. They got that solid safety duo of Jesse Bates and Von Bell.
Drafted Jack Sale, who's going to be
who they haven't used. Who I'm upset because they haven't even used them in the way that they could use them.
Next year he'll be there because Jesse Bates will not be there.
He won't be there either. So he's just waiting in the wings. But just speaking a little bit to Ja'Marr Chase before we move on, he's just learning what it's like to be a superstar wide receiver in the National Football League.
Yeah.
It comes with the territory. You're going to get triple covered. We watched you're going to need to learn patience. You saw even like watching last night the game with Devontae Adams. He's used to it. He does the shit in his sleep. He knows that he's gonna get double, triple covered. They're gonna roll coverage to his side, and he just waits and patient when he gets open and he catches it. Now for Ja'Marr Chase, he's gonna have to develop a little bit more in that area. Now yesterday, remember they were limited because T. Higgins is hurt. He played, but he playing really hurt. He has an ankle injury, so he's very limited.
Concussion he had, shoulder.
Right. But if T. Higgins is a healthy enough to be effective, I mean, this game probably looks a lot different. T. Higgins, I think, healthy is the number one on a lot of football teams right now.
And you can argue that they have 3 number ones.
You could argue that, but when sometimes and obviously we got to give Tyler Boyd his respect because he's a good player in his own right.
Yeah, he's a good player.
T. Higgins at times, I'm like, he's gonna literally be so damn good that teams are gonna be like, okay, we cannot triple cover Ja'Marr Chase anymore. Like I think that T. Higgins is that good, but once again, he has to be healthy enough because I think he only played a little bit in the first half, and he sat down for the rest of the game because
he's like all the good of Gallup. Like he's like all the positives of Gallup, but like very few negatives. Like, he's taking all the spectacular traits from Gallup, and that's one receiver.
Yeah. And he's a bigger kid.
Yeah, 6'5".
Yeah.
Surprising. But he's 6'5".
Exactly. So I mean, like I said, they'll be okay. I have no worries about the Bengals, and I have no worries about the Ravens. I think both could have went.
Yeah,
this game could have went. Yeah. This game could have went either way. You know, it's just how it shook out.
They're both playoff teams to me.
Yeah, they're both playoff teams, right? So obviously, we have next week. Let's do our. Let's do our quick
our predictions.
rapid fire week 6 predictions.
Ooh, this is gonna be tough.
We'll go ahead. He says it's gonna be tough.
It's been hard for you, boy.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna do it, but we're gonna get
it. FYI, Kenny, because I actually wrote them down for last week. You went 10-6, and I was 9-7.
Oh, with the predictions?
Yes. So, but
so
there was a couple upsets that we both didn't see coming.
So let's get into them. Let's get into them.
All right, I got it up. You got it.
I was gonna go through it. I'll say I'll ask you one. Ask you one. Ask Ron one. Okay. All right. So we got Commanders and Bears. Swan, who you got?
Oh man, look, I don't care what y'all say. I'm going with my Bears. I don't care what y'all say. No, but I mean the game's in Chicago. I think we get a turnover 2 out of Wentz. Our defense hasn't been playing bad, so I think we get a turnover 2 out of Wentz. Hopefully, David Montgomery's back. We run the ball, and I'm going Bears.
You going Bears?
Yep.
Ron?
Jesus Christ.
And hopefully it's a better game than last Thursday.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to take the Bears because they're at home. That's kind of the only reason why I'm picking the Bears. Like, Wentz has been okay, but then this could be the Fields game where he actually throws like close to like 250 yards because the Commander secondary is like bottom 3 right now. So
I'm gonna go with the Commanders. I'm gonna rock with NFC East. I think that they're gonna get this second win. They're gonna find a way to manufacture it. Once again, the Bears are just so limited on offense. I just think that they'll find a way. And the Commanders, their defense is not a lay down. They're not going to just go in there and just.
Front four is good. They can win the game with that. I think.
Yeah. And
so
our O-line is terrible.
Yeah, so it's very possible. So I got the Commanders. So then we got the Ravens Giants. This is a trap game to me. This could easily be. I could see a scenario where the Giants win this game, but I want to know what you guys think. Swan, what you got?
The Ravens will avoid the trap. I think Lamar Jackson has a big game running the football. I think he finds a crease, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets between 80 and 100 yards with his feet. And I think Lamar just this is a Lamar game, and he just gets him this victory.
Yeah, I think.
Ron?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens too. The Giants do have a good team. I just don't have the upset here. I think the game will be competitive. I think Lamar, I think Lamar can just win this game. And okay, maybe the Giants win because they can attack the Ravens secondary. I don't think Jones, that's not the Giants' strong suit. So it's like they can't, I don't think, expose a weakness here. So that's why I'm picking the Ravens.
I'm actually going to go with the Giants.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna be that guy. And the reason why is because I think the Giants defense is definitely good enough. They're a top 10 to 15 unit. They're a very solid defensive unit. And you guys, I'm telling you guys, Landon Collins is gonna play this week for them.
We'll see.
More linebacker a little bit.
Right. I mean, they have some interesting pieces on the defensive side of the ball, and offensively. They're gonna have some unorthodox ways. Don't be surprised to see some trick plays, some creative stuff. But I could see Saquon Barkley having a big game against this. Like the Ravens' defense is not great. It's really not.
Yeah. I probably think the black jerseys, but
exactly right. But I mean, they struggle at linebacker. Patrick Queen has struggled significantly. So you're going to have some times where you're going to see him matched up against Saquon Barkley. Good luck. Right? I don't know. I just have this eerie feeling that this Giants team can find a way to pull this one out. And I think
that they're a real team. They're a playoff team.
Yeah, I could see it. I just could see this one. So I could see the Giants pulling this one out. So I'm going to go with the Giants. I'll be that one guy. So now we got the Jaguars Colts. What you guys want?
Oh man. This one is a tough one for real. All right, I'm going to. You know what? Like I said, I was so big on the Colts preseason, so maybe that ugly win Thursday helps them turn the game or turn things around. And this game is at home, so tentatively, I'm gonna take the Colts in a close one.
I have one more game betting with Trevor Lawrence, and that is this game.
Got one more at it.
I am off the train. I thought he had top 12 potential this year. Maybe he could rise up the rankings, past like the Derek Carr of the league. past that guy, doesn't look like that'd be happening this year. This is my last game with Trevor Lawrence. I'm taking the Jaguars.
Jesus Christ, this one's so tough.
It really is a toss-up.
It's a toss-up. I'm gonna go with the Colts only because I have a better belief in them defending right now. Stephon Gilmore, you saw him do some things to win this game. I think Shaq will continue. Shaq Leonard will continue to take the necessary steps to make the defense get back to where they were, because they used to be a top 3 unit. Right now, they're closer to like a top 10 unit, top 10, top 15 unit.
Yeah.
And then Yannick Ngakoue rushing the passer. Kwity Paye is slowly but surely taking steps in his development. So I just have more confidence in the defense. And Jonathan Taylor should be back. Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Hines should be back. So maybe they'll be able to do a little bit in the running game. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Colts. So then we got the Patriots, Browns. This one should be easy. No, it's not. It's really not.
It's not. I'm going with the Browns though, man. I know we talked about him a little bit earlier. Brissett hasn't played bad.
Hasn't.
I think he has a nice, solid game. I think I could be wrong. I think Nick Chubb has had 100 yards every game this year.
He has.
Isn't
he leading the league in rushing?
I know coming into last week, Saquon was. I don't know if he still is after this week, but I know coming into last week, Saquon was leading.
Well, Nick Chubb is definitely leading the league in yards per carry.
He leads the
100%.
League. He was leading in rushing by 60 yards. He's averaging 6.1 yards per carry.
Who? Chubb leads the league.
Yeah.
So, I mean, chalk up 100 yards. Maybe they get Kareem Hunt a couple catches out the backfield or whatnot, but a close one. You know what I'm saying? Bill Belichick had a defense ready to go. A close one, but I'm gonna go Browns. I think the Patriots last week 29-0. I think that was a little bit of an aberration.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Browns too. I think Nick Chubb is proven to be the best running back in the league. He's just gonna be second all time in rushing yards per attempt. Which way keep looking over the guy. Like, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I guess he's down the field third down, but overall it hasn't seemed to affect his stats. Kareem Hunt really ain't even done as much as I thought he would this year. They've been riding Nick Chubb. He has 7 touchdowns on the year. He has basically 600 yards. He has 6.1 yards per carry. Yeah, I'm just like, bro, can Bailey Zappi be good again? Like, the Browns defense has been disappointing, yes, but this got to be their bounce back game. If it's not, then the Browns defense is kind of shot.
Word.
I'm gonna take the Patriots.
Oh,
you just want to be different. That's all.
No, because so think about this. They just stopped the number 1 scoring offense, which, believe it or not, the Lions were.
Yeah, they were.
And they were running the ball with authority with Jamal Williams.
DeAndre Swift didn't play though, and
Amon St. Brown didn't play, and Swift didn't play. But I mean, to their credit though, I mean, I have more than enough confidence in Jamal Williams, so it's still a good feat to slow him down.
Yeah, so it's just one of those.
And Hawk was coming off probably the best game in his career last week.
Right,
Hawkinson.
Exactly. So it's just one of those things where if you can beat a talented team like the Lions, who I think might have the best offensive line in the National Football League, and we're building are consistently building one of the better rushing teams in the National Football League. I just feel like the Browns are a team that has a lot of flaws. You can take Amari Cooper out of the game; it's possible. And if you can. You're not going to stop him, but maybe slow him a little bit. Look, maybe hold him to 90 yards, right? How about I say? Right. Maybe hold him to 90 yards. Then it's possible that you can slow down and beat this Browns team. I'm just going to take the Patriots. I think they'll figure out a way to win this game. So then we got Bengals Saints.
I tell you what, both teams need this win.
Yes.
Man. Saints had a nice comeback win last week. Oh, this is a tough one. All right. I'm gonna go Bengals.
Ron?
Yeah, I have the Bengals too. I don't believe in the Saints. I was on them before the year. I don't like the team. I think no. Michael Thomas, I think, is back this week. Chris Olave is in concussion protocol. He's actually been their best receiver.
Yeah,
He has.
Alvin Kamara had his best game of the last 2 years. but I just don't believe in the Saints. I don't. And the Bengals, like, they need this win. This might, again, Marshall Lattimore is big. They're not gonna give up. They're not gonna play the too high shell defense. Like, they're gonna let Marshawn Lattimore guard Jamar Chase like all game. This could be the Jamar Chase game. And Tyrann Mathieu, this has been bad. I knew this would happen. I saw the decline coming.
It's been ugly.
It's here for Tyrann Mathieu.
Hey man, well, he had a nice career. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati too. I think T. Higgins comes into this week a little bit more healthy, opens some things up in the passing game. Jamar Chase is going to be a tough matchup. Obviously, them guarding Jamar Chase. And another thing I think that's hurting is the Saints aren't getting to the quarterback like they have in years past. So it's gonna, if they're not able to get to Joe Burrow as much as they need to, or really put that pressure on them, I think that you could see Cincinnati possibly have a really, really big explosive game on offense throwing the football. So, I'm going to go with Cincinnati. I think they're just a better team right now. And then plus, if Andy Dalton might start for the Saints again next week. Who knows?
Right. And I don't see
them.
I don't see Taysom Hill, surprising anybody the way he did.
That was a flash in the pan. Honestly, I'd be surprised if anybody has that man on fantasy. Yeah. That man probably had 40 points on the bench. On somebody's bench or on somebody's waiver wire.
Actually, crazy enough though, Kevin actually started him against me.
And he won.
I thought I showed y'all. I beat him by 1/10 of a point.
1/10 of a point.
He had 154.4. I had 155.5. Look in the chat. I put it in the chat.
Wow,
that's crazy.
Wow,
that's absolutely crazy. So, okay. So then we got moving along quickly. We finish this off so we can get to this NBA really quick. We got Buccaneers Steelers.
Oh, Buccaneers, but just
everybody's agreeing. Buccaneers.
Yeah. Steelers are they're on the decline. Like I said, Tom is going to have his first losing season.
Yes.
Buccaneers, but I am interested to see how Kenny Pickett does against his defense.
And I think it's a slow progression, but he's taking the steps. 49ers Falcons.
Now we know the Falcons are going to play hard. If
they're going to fight them.
We know they're going to fight.
Yeah, every game they cover.
But the Niners, like I said,
Niners have one of the better defenses in the league as well. And yeah, let's go Niners. Niners,
and once again, I think
Niners.
I think hopefully Debo has a bit.
Niners.
I think they can. Exactly.
Yeah, and not to wish ill will on anyone, but the injury to Trey Lance was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, they weren't gonna. I don't think they were gonna win a lot of games with Trey Lance. And to me,
I don't think they wouldn't be the threat that they are with Garoppolo.
Right. Yeah. And I think Shanahan knows that now. He's like, damn. Yeah. I was really ready to turn it over to this dude. Okay. Jets Packers. I'll throw mines out here. I'm almost gonna take the Jets. I might take the Jets.
No, I'm not gonna almost. I'm taking them. That's my upset this week.
Ron, is it an upset really?
Well, I'm pretty sure the Packers are probably not.
Like this, I'm 100. They're not a top team in the NFC. Period. They lose this game.
So who you taking?
I'm taking the Packers. They can't lose this game. They went to overtime with the Patriots. That was bad. They lost to the Giants. So the Giants have been better team, but overall, you win that game. You're up. If they lose to the Jets, this is.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you this.
Jets heading in the right direction, man. As I said, man, I think they had the best NFL draft of any team last year.
And I'll tell you this, I didn't think it was gonna happen, but Sauce Gardner has been good.
Really
good. Yes,
and now he's the best corner on his team.
Yes, he is.
No, yes, man.
You know they still hop. What's that other kid's name?
Hall.
DJ, huh?
Hall. Is the corner's name Hall?
Or is it the one that came from the 49ers? Number four?
Yeah, that the other corner for the Jets.
He's not better than Sauce Gardner. But you know what?
The Gardner is not traveling for a reason. He's on a side because the other corner is that good. Like they said we're too early. They've been a top 10 duo. They've
I
been
give
it
you
this
that.
year.
But he's
Hey, you know what? Michael said that, and I'm not gonna give him.
He did.
I'm not gonna give Michael because Michael be pissing me off. I'm not satisfaction. We'll see how the season plays out. But so okay, so Jets, and you picking the Packers because you said they need to win this game. So now we got Vikings,
You going
Dolphins.
Jets too?
DJ Reed.
Hell yeah, DJ Reed. Yeah, I'm going Jets too. Yeah, Jets, Packers.
One Jets.
Okay.
Yes, we got them. Okay, Vikings, Dolphins. I'm taking
Vikings.
Minnesota.
Yeah, the Vikings. Yeah.
I
don't even know who's starting for Miami now. Bridgewater's out too.
Bridgewater. Well, they said he didn't have a concussion for it. It was just the rule. I think Bridgewater plays. I still take the Vikings though. What time is this game?
Well, I'm in West Coast, so it's a 10 a.m. West Coast game. So it's
yeah.
At one.
One, yeah.
Yeah, Kirk is good. He'll be good there. He was 12 for 12 last week.
That's a shame. We got to ask what time is it. So you taking Minnesota too, Ron?
Yeah, Minnesota.
So everybody's taking Minnesota. Okay, Panthers, Rams. Okay, hey, I'm gonna tell you this. You want to know why I'm excited? Interim head coach Steve Wilkes. He gets another crack at it after getting fucked in Arizona.
After getting canned. Yeah, after 1 year.
I'm gonna go with the Rams, but okay. I'm excited for Wilkes, and I'm actually excited to see PJ Walker. I'm actually excited.
He better show the hell out. This is his chance.
I hope he does. Like I think
this is your chance.
I'm picking the Rams, but I think I'm gonna root for Carolina.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Rams. I think Donald might be a problem again with that O-line in Carolina. Even if they double them, the receivers again haven't done anything this year. I loved it. I like DJ Moore. Robbie Anderson's a good player too. He should be a Los Angeles Charger by the end of the year. But the offense has just been really bad. And the defense has been just okay. They haven't been great. They have a lot of talent. Brian Burns is over there. Like Derek Brown's over there.
JC Horn.
Talent. JC Horn hasn't damn near having a lot of catch in a lot of games. JC Horn has been locked down. Like I still think Surtain was still my guy. I think Surtain was more the pure guy that can guard any type of receiver. But JC Horn is going to get nasty. He's the Sauce Gardner of his draft. He's going to be a filthy corner for years to come. So they have the talent. I don't think it's good enough for the Rams. The Rams are just a talent, should be able to win this game, period. If they can't,
they better win this game or
big trouble.
Sound the alarm.
Pick written all over it.
I'm taking the Panthers.
Oh,
damn! For real?
I'm being that guy. I'm gonna be that guy this week. I'm gonna take the Panthers.
If the Panthers beat the Rams,
I think they're gonna simplify the game plan. I think you're gonna see Brian Burns turn up. You're gonna see your Tour Gross Moss have a big game. You're gonna see Derek Brown have a game.
As many touches as possible.
They're gonna feed the hell out of him. And defensively, don't be surprised to see what's his name? Shaq Thompson.
Yeah.
Blitz. They might do some blitzes. Jeremy Chin. You may see Jeremy Chin play a little closer to the line. I'm taking the Panthers on this one. I'm gonna be that guy. So next we got Cardinals Seahawks.
That's tough.
I think that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough one. I'm going to take Arizona. I mentioned it earlier. I think Arizona stays at about 500. I think Kyler Murray finds a way to come out on top in this one, and they get to 500 before they get D-Hop back.
Let me see. Where is this game at though?
It's in Seattle.
That's tough.
So they got 12. They got 12 there.
Let me think.
That's going to be a really good game, though. That's going to be a tough game.
It is. But I'm excited. I could see.
I'm going to take the Cardinals. I'm just going to have to just lean on Kyler and think he can pull this one out. And this is another one of those games where it is a road divisional game in Seattle. It's going to be a tough win. The defense showed me a little bit last week, and I'm hoping they can ride it out. Just slow down Geno Smith, which looks like impossible right now.
and I think Rashad Penny's out for the year. I think
out for the year. Yeah.
And Kenneth Walker coming there and probably Kenneth Walker's really good. Like I don't think it's gonna be a drop off, but I don't think it should be like significant. Kenneth Walker's
which is unfortunate because Rashad Penny was just starting to hit his stride.
The NFL history, highest yards per carry ever.
Damn. Unfortunate. Well, you know I'm taking Seattle, so
They are at home. It's not a bad pick.
I'm taking Seattle.
Yeah.
They got 12.
Yeah.
They got Kenneth Walker. They'll figure it out. And Pete, and watch this. They have head and shoulders the better coach.
Yeah. Oh, that's
yeah,
not even
sure.
a debate.
So I just feel like coaching's gonna play a coaching in 12 is gonna play a big factor. So I'm gonna take Seattle. Here's a good one. Bills Chiefs in Kansas City.
Ooh-wee.
I know I.
I'm gonna go Bills, man. I'm gonna go Buffalo, man.
Who are you taking, Ron?
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Oh.
In 2
You said
days,
it's in Kansas City?
I'm taking Kansas City.
It's in Kansas City.
I'm
gonna go
they were
Buffalo,
my number one
man.
team in our power rankings. They will be again this week. I need to see them slay the dragon.
I think Buffalo is gonna come out so motivated.
They have to.
Check this out. I
This is
wouldn't
a
be
must-win
surprised
game.
if they win by 2 touchdowns.
Oh wow,
It's very
this
possible.
is a must-win game for Buffalo. If that's
Yeah, for their psyche, yeah, I can see
if
that.
they lose this game, I'm like off the train. Like for your mental, like that means something in a physical sport like football.
Hey, when
If
is
you
Tre'Davious
lose
White
this
supposed to
game-
come back?
One more time.
When is Tre'Davious White supposed to come back?
He should be soon, next 2-3 weeks.
Oh, he was on PUP?
Yes, or he's on IR. Regardless, it's been like a year and 2 weeks since the ACL tear, so it's getting towards that time of return.
Right.
But I don't think he'll play this game though.
No, he won't play this game. Yeah.
And the Bills got some injuries in the secondary, but the Chiefs' offense didn't look amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say Buffalo's defense still looked pretty solid though.
Buffalo defense is going to be good,
And Jordan Poyer needs to finally get his credit as a top 5 safety in the league
and he'll be back this week. He didn't play last week. Micah Hyde is out,
for the
but
season.
Jordan Poyer should be that in.
Right.
It's an Arrowhead. This is a tough matchup for Josh Allen.
It is.
I think he shows up, but this is a lot of pressure. We talk about Trevor Lawrence and pressure. It's a lot of pressure when you have this much riding on you. And Josh Allen might be the MVP this year. It's just so much. Yeah, he can show up and shut everyone. Well, they gonna shut everybody the hell up. But I mean, I would say that, but everyone picked him to win the Super Bowl this year, so I ain't really do it so much. But overall, I'm taking Kansas City.
I'm taking the Bills. I just think that so far the Bills have looked like the steadier team.
True.
Where you've seen Kansas City, sometimes they've looked shaky offensively.
Yep.
And they can't afford to fall into a hole like how they came back. They're not gonna do that shit on no damn. The Bills. Yeah. And this Buffalo pass rush, I think that's the most significant improvement from last year to this year is that Buffalo pass rush. So that is something I'll be wary of. I just think that you're gonna, unless they get to running the football, which is something that I think that they'll need to do. But if they're not able to get a running game going and you got Pat dropping back fucking 30, 40 times a game in this game, I just think it's going to be a recipe for disaster. So I got Buffalo just because I think that they're the stronger team. But if Buffalo beats them, they're going to need to beat them by more than a touchdown because I don't think if it's a close game, I think Kansas City can win it just because Buffalo can't. They don't have that running game right now. So that'll be tough. But yeah, so I got Buffalo. I got Buffalo. Swans got Buffalo, and you got Kansas City. So all right. So then we got the fun game, the Sunday night game, Cowboys Eagles. Who you got?
Well, seeing how I know where y'all gonna go with this, I'm taking the Eagles.
I know you're gonna take the Eagles. It's in your nation.
I think this is the first game where you see Cooper Rush kind of make a mistake or two. So because I do think they're gonna ride Cooper Rush at least for this game, and I think we see him make a mistake or two. And and where's the game at?
It's in Philly.
Yeah, I'm
tough.
go
Yeah, definitely tough.
Watch this. Well, let's go ahead and establish this, which don't mean shit for Dallas because we didn't beat the shit out of Philly in Philly.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, this is a divisional game.
I'm gonna take Philly. I don't think the Cowboys can beat Philly without Dak Prescott. The only reason why they have a better team. Period. They might have the best team in the NFL. Literally, they have the best cornerback tandem in the NFL. James Bradbury has yet to allow a touchdown this year. Darius Slay is Darius Slay.
He just don't get enough
They've
credit.
been rushing the pass. Well, the actual rush pass are that good this year. That's kind of that could be, So we'll see that. I just think they have a great team. Now, AJ Brown, everyone, I think that's when I was pissed. That's one of my most viral videos when I threw the phone when I saw the trade on draft night because I think he said he's a guy. I think it's baby Terrell Owens is what I think he is. This is a great matchup for Trayvon Diggs. This is the exact type of receiver that Diggs will shut down. So I think Diggs can do that, but I just think the Eagles have this at home. It means more to them. It means nothing to Dallas to win this game. Nothing. You lose this game, you're still within it. You still play without Dak. You still play them again when you get Tyron Smith back, probably in December. This game, it means nothing to Dallas. It means everything to Philly. Philly has to win this game. Dallas does not win this game.
Tyron Smith, what's he supposed to do?
I mean, he's come back in December. I think he'll play. I don't think they'll not start him. So I think he'll be back in December. I do.
I don't see them starting him. I think he's done as a starter in Dallas, unless barring injury. But that's just my belief. I don't know. But it is what it is. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, we'll cross that way when you get there.
I'm gonna take Dallas. I have this eerie feeling that Dak will play. But they won't put a
different.
Lot,
Dak plays,
but they won't put a lot. I don't think that they're gonna put a lot on his plate, and I don't think that they need to. One thing that gives me hope is that you could argue that Arizona was the first really 4-quarter game you've really seen Philly play.
Yeah.
Every game that they've played, they've jumped on, and Arizona really wasn't a quality opponent. I mean, let's just be real. I don't think that they're a good team. Every team that they've played, they've jumped on, and they've got to 24 points, and they haven't scored anymore, and they've just been 24-7 the whole entire game. So they're not really a strong 4-quarter team that you're going to see like just pour it on you for 4 quarters. They're going to see a defense unlike anything that they've seen all season.
I can't wait.
This is a defense that can be on the game, that can be in the game. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. Good defenses can make stops with a solid time of possession on the offensive side of the ball. Great defenses can make stops being on the field all game. That's what this Dallas defense is so far is showing up to be. They've lost the time of possession, I want to say, in 3 to 5 of their game, 3 to 5 of their wins. 3 to 5 of the games they've played, and they've made necessary stops. Nobody scored 20 points on them, and no team has scored two touchdowns on them.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish up.
No, well, I mean, I just kind of wrapping it up and saying this. I just think that it's not a bad matchup for Philly because obviously they have strength and they have a solid offensive line. Though they have some injuries, they have a solid offensive line. They have weapons, but they just haven't seen a defense like this so far this year. So I think it's gonna.
Period.
It's gonna be It's gonna be really tough for them because they're gonna see some looks and get some things that they just haven't gotten yet. And on the defensive side of the ball for them, where I think Dallas really needs to focus on attacking them, I think Dallas can run the ball on Philly. I think you can.
Well, you ain't gonna throw it.
I can see that. Yeah,
you can. I think it. But this Dallas team is showing they don't need to be a great explosive throwing team. At least with but it's possible. And then also you look at. I mean, right now there's obviously some passing limitations with Cooper Rush. You
think he has the guts to go in Philly and win? No, this is a big game.
I don't think he
has it.
I think here's the thing. Go ahead.
I was just going to say one thing that I think that we got to pay attention to is, and obviously I think the Cowboys have the best pass rush in the league right now, but now they're going to be playing against a guy who not only can extend plays with his feet in the pocket, but can get out of the pocket and make plays. So that might be something that may kind of offset some things. So look out for that.
And if Dallas wins this game, they're the best team in the NFC. Period.
Well, true.
I agree.
I think that's going to definitely play a part. Look for them to spy him.
Anthony Barr game. It's the Anthony Barr game.
Anthony Barr, but you saw them do some things later on down the line where they put Donovan Wilson in that role, or you may even see J-Ron. But I think they'll put J-Ron Curse on Dallas Goedert. But Dan Quinn is going to get very creative. He's not. Dan Quinn is in his bag. Watch this. Dan Quinn is in his 2013 bag right now. He's in his bag. Like you could tell, he's really into into this defense thing right now. Like he's
locked in.
coming.
He's, coach.
He's locked in.
He's trying to take some coaches.
Oh yeah, he won't be there too long.
No, he won't. But then also remember he came back to Dallas by choice, not because he didn't have offers. He said that he felt like he said he was having fun in Dallas and he wanted to finish what he started.
And Jerry Jones don't pay that money. That's not.
Oh, you gonna get paid, right?
Don't you worry about that.
So, it's not. Look, coaches don't count against the cap, so you're gonna get all the money you want to get. So I say all that to say that I just think I'm gonna ride with the Cowboys because I think that they're gonna have some success on a running game. They'll be able to control some time of possession, and defensively, I mean, you guys, I could see Jalen Hurts throwing 1 to 2 picks in this game. I think they're gonna get. I
can't wait.
I think they're gonna get to him. I really think they're going to get to him. Jordan Mailata is hurt.
He's not playing this game.
If he doesn't play, he's not going to be 100. He's going to be far from 100%. Landon Dickinson is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right now. You had a great offensive line that is now weakened. Because now you have. This is against a great pass rush. So. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a fun game to watch, but I'm just going to take Dallas. So I got Dallas. You two got Philly.
Now Mailata is questionable.
He's questionable.
Dillard is out with a forearm fracture, so he can't go. I think he'll go. He has to go. But if he's hurt, Marcus Lawrence, Micah, Dante Fowler, Dorrance, it's going to be tough for him. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, right? And they still blitz the linebackers and they still blitz safeties and corners. So it's gonna be. Watch this. They haven't seen nothing like this, and that's what I predicate. If you're seeing a team, let's say you're seeing explosive offense or explosive defense, and you haven't seen anything like that all year, you're gonna be like, "Yo, what the hell is this?"
And
right?
I'm gonna be eyeing you this game. You gotta win these are the matchups. This is what now we talk trash about Amari Cooper. I don't care what Darius Slay was doing over there. This is his game. Eagles games? Oh, NFC East games. Amari Cooper that's how he got his money. This is what he does against the NFC East.
I will tell you guys this. If Dak Prescott, this is my hot take. If Dak Prescott plays this game, Michael Gallup will have 100 yards.
Gallup's been good, man.
Let's see.
Gallup is solid, man. I tell people, I've been a big believer in Gallup since 2019. I told people it was some times in 2019 where you looked up and you was like, "Damn, he's better than Amari Cooper."
Oh, for sure.
There are some times when you look at Michael Gallup and he flashes that. So and he's always been clutch. So I mean, he just shows that time and time again. So once again, it's gonna be a fun game to watch. So I'm excited. I'll be there front and center. I'll make some videos and stuff like that. Definitely post it. We'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it next week. But to get into our last game, we have Broncos Chargers. I think this should be. I mean, I'm taking the Chargers.
I gotta take the Chargers.
Ride with the Chargers. I think
it'll be close though because I think that Broncos defense will keep them around. But I mean, we haven't seen anything to convince us that there will be any strides in the right direction offensively. So,
and the pass rush still Khalil Mack. Joey Bosa will be out. J.C. Jackson has looked horrific. But Cortland Sutton has been good, not as good as we hoped he would be with Russell Wilson. So,
and I think a lot of that is on Russell Wilson. But, yeah. So I mean that is our week 6 predictions. Obviously, we got a few minutes left. I'm not gonna skip over this because we have to at least lay out who we think our top 8 teams are in the NBA Western Conference that's coming up. All right.
The season is I want to say a week from tomorrow. It starts a week from today or a week from tomorrow. I think. Yeah.
I think Thursday, right, or something like that. Like
I think it's a couple games Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
I believe.
Wow.
So how about this, guys? I will give you my top 8 to quicken this thing up because we want to wrap up here.
Yes,
I will give you guys my top 8, and I'll let you guys tear it apart and tell me what you think.
I'll let you finish before I even comment. I'm just gonna let it just run my favorite.
You guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I got Golden State number 1. I think that they'll be the 1 seed again. They'll get over the Draymond Green drama and they'll figure it out. They just have too strong of a foundation. All right. Number 2, I think Memphis will be the number 2 seed again. I think Memphis will pick up right where they left off. I have Denver at 3 with those improved pieces. And I mean, you know, Michael Porter Jr. will be back. Jamal Murray. They got Kentavious, that Caldwell Pope in the lineup. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be solid. So I got Denver at 3. All right, I got the LA Clippers at 4 with Kawhi Leonard back. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Dallas Mavericks at 5.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I got the Minnesota Timberwolves at 6. I got the Phoenix Suns, who we all have agreed we think will take a step back, at 7. And I have the Pelicans at 8.
I start off. I think we have the
solid.
same.
That's actually a solid. Yeah, that's a solid list.
We had order, but we have the same 8. I wanted to put the Lakers in there because I'm a LeBron guy, but the roster's trash. Let's be real. They'll be in the play in, and they'll probably lose to another bad team.
Right.
I think the Clippers have the best roster in the NBA and a top 5 coach. Now it's just the health and like will they actually play the games, and that's probably why they would be lower on your list side. So.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, it's still you still have to, because for them, it's even before Kawhi got hurt, it wasn't a talent issue; it was a cohesion issue.
Yeah, and they had no point guard, and they got John Wall and Reggie.
I think John Wall is going to be great for them.
Yeah,
he seems to really humble himself.
Well, I think the stint in Houston helped him.
Yeah,
from a mental standpoint, because he. Well, remember, before he got hurt, he really bought into that team, even though they sucked.
Look good.
Yeah.
The Clippers need a playmaker, and he literally fits that role. He's a pass-first point guard, but unlike Ben Simmons, he's willing to score the basketball if he's wide open. Like, he will shoot the mid-range. He will finish the ball, well. Even he looked good last night. So I think they have a chance. The Nuggets, I think the Nuggets will be the 2 seed. So I do have that.
Fair enough.
I just think this is the best starting 5, though. Like, even over Golden State.
You think so?
This is gonna be the number 1 offense in the NBA this year, bar none.
Health permitting.
Are they? So what they're gonna do? They'll be starting Aaron Gordon at the 4.
Michael Porter Jr. is your 3, so he's 6'9", 6'10".
Who?
Michael Porter Jr. is your small forward.
And then you put Aaron Gordon at the 4.
4, Jokic is the 5, Jamal's the 1, and KCP, who I think was an 8. That's just, he played with Wizards last year, just an A+ signing for that. What trade?
Yeah,
fits
right in.
3 and D.
Because I think they lost. I think they lost Morris and they lost Barton. I think as well.
Barton, who were good players, but
KCP fits right in. He does the same thing. And probably a slightly better defender.
Who all he does is the best cutter damn near in basketball. That's all he does.
Brown.
And he's probably the best passing big ever. So I think Bruce Brown fits well. He don't play defense. Bruce Brown's gonna be good for them. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Bones Highland. I like Monte Morris.
I think he takes another step this year.
Bones he has all the swag. So I think Bones gonna be 6-man worthy. So health, like you said, Michael Porter Jr. goes down, then it's like, all right, now come on. But if they can just play 65 games cohesively or 60 games cohesively, I think they'll have number 1 offense.
They were what the 5 seed last year, 4 or 5 seed.
Well, they played the Warriors in the first
6, round. I think, because they played the Warriors in the first round.
Okay,
the Warriors were 3 last year.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That'll be good.
So let me ask you guys this. I'm gonna tell you, we keep talking about starting 5s. I'm genuinely excited about the Timberwolves starting 5.
I am too, but see, this is what's crazy for me.
They don't have much shooting, but
this is what's crazy for me because it's kind of like a throwback because they're gonna be starting like kind of 2 traditional bigs. Even though Cat can stretch the floor, he can't shoot, but in essence, it's like 2 traditional bigs. And also for them, for everything that Rudy Gobert is, we know he's a multiple-time defensive player of the year or whatever.
He's a
We've
liability.
seen him on multiple occasions in playoff series become unplayable. Like last year, Dallas made Gobert unplayable. They literally had to bench Gobert. Max Kleber was out there going 8 for 8 from 3. Like,
that's the part. But it is regular season now. In the regular season, he's the GOAT, damn near.
Yeah.
And defensive center is like regular season. He's like Aaron Rodgers in the regular season. That's what I mean. Then you get the playoffs and you don't play the Cowboys, and goddamn Aaron Rodgers losing Jimmy G. So same with Gobert. Like Gobert, regular season,
great player, but in the playoffs they'll show up.
In the playoffs, I mean that he just
the game slows down.
He goes small ball. What is he supposed to do? He guards the rim. He plays drop coverage. And who the freak could? You have to stop someone in the perimeter. The Jazz had nobody to stop anybody. So it's like at least this team got a couple guys. Anthony Edwards also might take the leap. Karl Towns is the best price shooting 5 ever already. I think it's the most threes ever by a center.
Four.
Now he's the 4.
Yeah,
but he probably is a 4 in general. But he's such a bad as a player. If he can guard the 5, how's he gonna guard the 4? But regardless, Anthony Edwards, if he takes another jump, like this is the X factor.
What do y'all think about Jaden McDaniels?
They love him. Clearly, he was worth 2 first-round picks, right? They literally traded 2 more first to keep him, so they must love him. So,
and he's gonna have to really step it up this season because they gave up a lot to get Gobert. So now all of a sudden depth kind of becomes an issue for him.
Yeah, sure. It'll be interesting. I can't wait to see it. It should be fun. I don't want to roll them out yet.
But who else? So you say you had Denver?
I had Denver. I had Denver at 3. I had Memphis at 2. Denver at 3. I had the Clippers at 4.
Okay, run. Finish your 8 out.
Okay, I had the Mavericks at 5. Oh, you said Ron.
Yeah,
I just said move the Nuggets up 1. I'm going to move the Timberwolves up, and I'm going to drop Memphis to 4. And I'm going to drop the Clippers 1 down. Everything else is copacetic.
Oh, from his list. Okay. So,
let's see
I run through mine real quick. Not that I think I do think that there are better teams than them in the Western Conference, but because they're young and I think they're going to play a lot of games, you won't see them resting too much. I think Memphis will be 1.
Okay.
I'm going to take Golden State 2. I mean, obviously, you're right. I think it will be a little controversy. I think Draymond Green is on really thin ice.
Yeah, this is last year.
Really thin ice. And it probably is his last year there anyway. I can't stand him anyway, but another story for another day. But Golden State's 2. Health permitting, I'm going to go Denver 3. Health permitting. I'm going to go Clippers 4, although I can argue that you can argue when healthy, they're the best team in the West, but this is a team where the words load management will be used a lot, especially with Kawhi. Mr. Load Management.
Load Management.
Between Kawhi and Paul George, they're going to miss some games for some reason, so that's why I'll have them at 4. I'm gonna put the Mavericks at 5. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy that I put them at 5, but I think that they're going to be one of the better 5 seeds in recent memory.
West is stacked.
Yeah, it is, and we know they picked up Christian Wood in the offseason. And he'll be good for them, But I think a sneaky signing for them and something that they needed is JaVale
McGee. Yeah.
And I say that because although he only played in spurts, he only played maybe 15 or 20 minutes, but he's a rim runner and he can defend the rim a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
And he can move.
Yeah, he can move. He brings energy. So I think that was a really sneaky signing for them. So yeah, Dallas at 5. I got Phoenix at 6. I think we all agree. I think they take a step back. They got some issues going on. Jay Crowder doesn't. I think Jay Crowder has requested a trade.
He's out of there.
DeAndre Ayton don't want to be there.
Do you think they move him before the season, or they find a way to keep
I don't know if they do it before the season, but I think they do it before the trade deadline.
But what's he not going to play? Like, what are they going to do? You probably got to trade him before the season starts. You already got Ayton not playing defense because he's like, I'm out of here too. He's mentally gone.
I mean, he's mentally gone, but I mean, they just matched this $100-some million contract, so I mean, he's gonna be out there. But I think the relationship between him and Monty Williams is is so fractured now.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happens with that. I just think they take a step back, you know, and then the whole Robert Sarver stuff still hanging over him. So I just think they take a step back. They barely missed the play-in. So yeah, I got Phoenix at 6. Obviously, we know they do the play-in and everything, but my 7th seed, I really like this team. I'm gonna go New Orleans. I really like New Orleans team.
Herb Jones.
Zion, Herb Jones is solid. Zion Williamson looks like he done cut about a solid 20 pounds or so. Like he looks cut now. He looks in shape now. I actually watched them play my Bulls in a preseason game last week, and he looked just as explosive as ever. And he looked like he's giving more of an effort defensively now. So,
which is the biggest thing that hurts them. Their center. What do you think about?
Go ahead.
I was about to say, what do you think about their center?
New Orleans.
Yeah,
shooting threes now.
Oh, yeah. I like Valanciunas. You know what I'm saying? He's a good tough guy. I mean, he's a possible double guy. I liked him in Toronto. I liked him in Memphis.
Yeah,
you know?
Drew.
Like
he's in the paint next to threes. Yeah,
he's gonna bang. I don't dislike him. I think with the makeup of that team,
he fits in well.
I think you'll see Jackson Hayes get a lot more time because Jackson Hayes is young and he runs the floor like a deer and he catches a lot of lobs and he has the potential to be a rim protector. So I think you might see Jackson Hayes get a little more time this year. But yeah, I mean, CJ McCollum, we know B.I. is going to be B.I. Zion Williamson coming back. Got Herb Jones defensively, Alvarado defensively. I mean, they're going to be solid. And then at 8, I got the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like I said, I think they gave up a lot to get Rudy Gobert. And it's crazy to say this, you know, obviously Rudy Gobert is the better player, but I think they took for granted the impact that a Patrick Bev really had on them and on that young core and on them, you know, defensively. Right. Obviously, Rudy Gobert is a better player, but I don't know. Pat Bev is just one of those guys that you hate to play against, but you love to have that motherfucker on your team because
shout out to Lakers.
Yeah, because he's an irritant. So yeah, I got Minnesota at 8. Right? I mean, I really wanted to put the Lakers, you know, in this.
There's no way. There's no way they beat any of them.
I just don't see any.
No way.
I just don't see any signs.
Anthony
Davis can't. Anthony Davis, we just not sure he's gonna stay healthy. Like if he plays 60 games, it'll be a miracle. You know what I'm saying? Russell Westbrook, God bless him, he just doesn't fit. And don't be surprised if him and Darvin Ham get into it because I think Darvin Ham is going to try to force a specific role on him, and Russ isn't the type to just want to play a role.
And I agree. I don't see the Lakers. And it was funny because when I was going through I was ranking my top 8. I said there's nobody I could even like think about putting them over because they don't have the cohesion. A lot of their team. It's not that they don't have good players, but players that don't fit with each other. They don't have great shooting. They don't play great defense. They don't have depth.
Crazy enough for me, I would rather see them like pay Russell Westbrook off to just stay home because I genuinely think that they're a better team. I think that they're a better team without him.
Dennis Schroeder wasn't bad with Lakers. He wasn't.
he
Yeah.
should have took that damn contract.
Ooh, and I said, you know what, Ron? I said this to Kenny too, and this is another thing. I said this to Kenny too. Patrick Beverly, and then now with them adding Schroeder, and then I don't know if you've been noticing, but Kendrick Nunn has been playing extremely well this preseason.
They're making Russ expendable. All right, he's gonna have to play on it. Go ahead.
Furthermore, like Schroeder and especially Pat Bev, they're gonna defend.
They're going to defend.
Schroeder will pick you up 94 feet. They're going to defend. So, and Russell Westbrook isn't giving that type of effort. So if we see the same inefficiency out of Russell Westbrook, and then at least Darvin Ham knows, because defense was probably a bigger problem than Russell Westbrook was. At least Darvin Ham knows, hey, Pat Bev gonna go out there, he gonna play his role and he gonna defend his ass off. Hey, at least he knows Dennis Schroeder is a better shooter than both of those guys, and he will play some defense. Don't be surprised if you start seeing Westbrook minutes get cut, because guys like that, effort guys, you got to get them on the floor, especially down the stretch.
So let me ask you this just really quick, because obviously we're coming to a close. You had the Timberwolves at 8, and the only thing that did that, and I agree with everything you were saying, that you had to give up a lot to get Rudy Gobert, but the main thing that made me push them higher up the list and not at the bottom is I just think Anthony Edwards is going to take another step.
He's really good.
And
the Jazz number 8 seed. They're probably better than the Jazz.
I don't think the Jazz aren't. Watch this. The Jazz didn't make the cut because I mean they're in the flux right now.
Oh, I mean,
the Jazz are
the 8 seed.
The Jazz are in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Them and the Spurs are racing to the bottom of the Western Conference,
fighting for that. But
yeah.
But
so that's the only reason.
That's not a bad take though. Like Anthony
Edwards is like
good.
Yeah,
he's like that.
They got D'Angelo Russell. They got McDaniels. They're not a deep team though. Somebody goes down.
I forgot they had D'Angelo Russell.
D'Angelo Russell.
Like you said, D'Lo with a really good starting
6'5" in your lineup. D'Angelo Russell's 6'5", and the average is like 6'5", 6'6". Jamie Daniels like 6'8". Cat's 6'11". Gobert 7'1".
They had a big lineup.
This is a top 5 defense.
So could we say that is them and the Mavericks as the biggest teams and the biggest starting fives in the because the Mavericks got a tall starting 5.
It was Luka, Dorian, Reggie,
but you know
Spencer
what,
Dinwiddie.
I don't know if they're gonna start. Like it seems like Jason Kidd plans on bringing Christian Wood off the bench.
From my understanding too,
right?
Huh?
I think
JaVale's a 7-footer though.
Oh, JaVale's a 7-footer. So it's supposed
or something. Yeah.
So it's supposed to be Luka, Spencer Dinwiddie,
probably Luka, Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith. And maybe Kleber and maybe Kleber and JaVale McGee.
Yeah,
and then they still got Tim Hardaway Jr. to come off the bench, Christian Wood to come off the bench.
It said the Mavs don't have the best bench in the league because they ain't starting. They said Dinwiddie's supposed to be on the bench, so it's Wood.
Spencer Dinwiddie started.
They said he was supposed to come off the bench. This is what Jason Kidd said. Now we'll see if he's.
I mean, I know it worked too. I mean, they slipped.
He might be lying.
He worked too.
He has to be lying.
And I think it'll kind of open things up for Dinwiddie too. If he does come off the bench, he can be that primary playmaker off the bench. You know, he can have the ball in his hands a little more.
But Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Well, either way it goes, I think that they're going to be a much improved team from last year.
I agree.
And Luka seems locked in.
And they say he's in shape because he played in the summer. So they say he's in shape. Luka is a top 3 player in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, crazy enough, you can make an argument that the top 3 players in the NBA are all overseas.
Thank you.
Oh, no, that is what it is, probably. Well, I guess which
I'm sure makes the powers that be of the NBA sick.
Might make them happy though.
You know they wanted the game to go global. They wanted it to go worldwide.
David Stern.
True.
David Stern the GOAT.
Yeah. Shout out, rest in peace. Shout out to David Stern.
Yeah. So, but nah, man. Yeah, that is our top. Obviously, we all have different top 8s. But at least we all had the same.
Pretty much got the same teams.
We got the same teams. Different order.
RP Kings, RP Portland Trailblazers, all these teams that have no cap room. You still ain't gonna be
I'll say this though about Portland though. They'll get Dame Lillard back, and there are instances where a superstar can just get you there. And I like Anthony Simmons. If Nurkic can stay healthy
right now.
Yeah, and they got Jeremy Grant now. So, I mean, they do have an outside chance of the teams, you know, outside of the 8 that we mentioned. They do have an outside chance.
What do you guys think about the Kings?
Damn Kings.
I always think, like, I always like some of the young pieces they have, but it's like they never just take that next step.
you remember what I told you last year? I said Memphis is what we thought the Memphis Grizzlies are what we thought the Kings would be.
Yeah, and I can agree with that. Like I think last year I thought like, you know what, they might fight for, you know what I'm saying, or at least to get in the play in, but I don't know, man. And they got solid. I love De'Aaron Fox. You know what I'm saying? I love Sabonis. I love
Monk
Sabonis.
now, Kevin Huter. They got Keegan Murray. They got Harrison Barnes. But it's
I think they got no, did they got Bogdanovich? No, Huter. You just said Huter. My bad.
Yeah,
no,
yeah, Kevin Huter though. Still got Harrison Barnes. He's all right.
And I like the kid they drafted, Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all seen him in the summer league, he was tearing it up, and so far in the preseason, he's been coming off the bench, but he's looked really good. He can stretch the floor, so
yeah.
So man, this thing's about to get fun, man. We got basketball's here.
On, man. Yeah.
Look,
next
and I will say it again. We got basketball starting next week, and the World Cup. I'm watching the World Cup this year. I'm sorry. I gotta say it. To my overseas brothers and sisters, because especially man, it's not like being Ron. We was in the Navy, so we used to be in on the ship with Africans and stuff, and they hogging the TV up watching the World Cup.
Seriously,
hey, that's what drew me to it more, seeing Africans, and then you had guys that are in the Navy that are from Europe, and they all watching it together. Yeah, so that's what drew me more.
The Hispanics, they checking it out, like
yeah.
They geeks for it.
Yeah, and then obviously baseball.
Yankees just winding down. Who did?
The Dodgers and
the Yankees won.
Dodgers won.
I seen the Stros have to walk off. I think they're playing now. I don't know.
Yeah. Aren't the Dodgers playing the Padres today?
Yeah, they have the late.
Oh, game now.
Yeah,
they are.
They're up 5-0.
Who, the Dodgers?
Yes.
I really want the Padres to
return as a home.
I am not a Dodgers fan. I ain't gonna carry on too long, but I am not a Dodgers fan.
Yeah, it's probably best team now. All these dang contracts they got. They got everybody.
Yeah.
Word.
He say hate the Dodgers, but yeah, no, it's I'm in San Diego, so trust me. If you say that word around here, you might get snuffed. Because they hate them. Yeah. So, but no, man, this was a fun episode. We had Ron on. Ron,
definitely
I know you're
appreciate you, bro.
Definitely appreciate you. I have to. I know you're a busy man, but I have to extend an invite only because you did the Western Conference with us. I have to invite you back if you're free to come back next week, and I have to hear what your Eastern Conference picks are. So just let us know if you keep us updated on your schedule. I know you got deadlines, but we love to have you back. But man, what's going on with the show? Give us some updates as we close out.
Yeah, I mean, M&R show. It's been great. M&R Network, we've been great. We 2 episodes a week on YouTube at the M&R show or the M&R Network. Then I have Franchise Mode with Ron Harrod Jr. breaking down before and after every Cowboys game, and Wizards coming up. We'll be doing a lot of Wizards and NBA content in general. So it'll be a lot of Lakers, LeBron, a lot of Wizards, a lot of Cowboys. Franchise Mode, Ron Harrod Jr. It's all my favorites in one podcast on Apple and Spotify.
Oh,
yes, sir. Y'all make sure y'all go check that out, man. Real good dude, man. He's a great writer, very knowledgeable, man. I told you I love the
intro. That's that. People love the intro to Franchise Mode. I'm gonna keep it up.
I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, I just feel like one random day I did it, and everybody is a.
It's hype.
Yeah, it's so unique to him. That's what I like. Like it's just it's unique to him. That's what I like.
All right, I'm on it. Say less. So, okay, yeah, no, 100%, man. Definitely tap in with my guy Ron, who once again who always comes and blesses Rooted in Sports with his presence. And then obviously you guys know every Saturday we got Rooted in Sports Community. So look, sometimes we go 2 hours, sometimes we go 10 hours. It all depends on how the conversation goes, but we get a buffet of different personalities. We talk basketball, we talk football, we talk some baseball, we even talk some UFC. A lot of different sports topics, a lot of different people, but we all have fun. It's all respectful, and it gets heated in there too.
Word. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube page, Rooted in Sports. Follow us on Instagram at Rooted in Sports.
Mhm.
And did we miss anything, Kenny?
Nah, man, I think that's it, man. Like I told you, everyone knows the Break Room Breakdown is we're doing a rebrand. We'll be relaunching January 10th is the official date. I talked to my producer. So that'll be coming. We'll have some good sports one-on-one content. So I'm in the lab with that right now. But outside of that, we got Rooted in Sports every Tuesday, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. And then we got Rooted in Sports Community every Saturday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then that'll be 2 p.m. Central and 3 Eastern. So, yeah, man. Like I said, it was a great episode. Thanks, Ron, for tapping in, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, till next time. Much love. God bless.